everyone, welcome to Cosplay Tugs and all things nerdy. So this time we're going to get a little bit nerdy yet again. This week, well, this month, we're not joined by a guest this time. It is just your superstars, Darren and myself, today on this one. So nothing too strenuous. We're going to talk a little bit about TV shows, films, games that we've played recently, but also stuff that we're looking forward to in the future as well. But also we're going to sort of touch base on a few bits and pieces that we've been up to over the last couple of months, because I know we've missed a month of the podcast. Turned out that August was quite busy for the pair of us, and September is looking the same as well. So, without further ado, let's get rolling. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with movies?
Yeah, let's start with movies. I mean, I feel like, it has been a little while since we did one of these particular episodes, but I just feel like there's been a lot out this year so far. Some good, some bad, some kind of indifferent. I've watched. I really should start keeping track more on some of the things I've watched, because some things I find like really memorable. Ballerina. It is one that I really enjoyed. Obviously, massive John Wick fan and all that. Really enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, but it was a great movie. Nice also to see Keanu in it. I think we've also had news now that Keanu is going to be in John Wick 5, which is a bit strange. Not quite sure how they're going to pan that one out, but it should be interesting nonetheless.
Mind you, with that said, I did read an article the other day which was alluding to John Wick, that John Wick 5 is potentially going to be the last one. I know they've said this before, but I think with the Brown Ballerina, I thought Ballerina was brilliant, but apparently the box office numbers weren't fantastic. It wasn't what I was looking for. So I think they've got the green light to do a John Wick 5, and then I think that's it. It's the end then, I think, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Ballerina. I really loved the change in.
Really enjoyed Ballerina. Yeah. It was kind of plagued with issues from the start. It hit delays, and then they did some reshoots, and there was all kinds of rumors going around about the reshoots, that they did it because the film was absolute dog shit, and all this out and the other, and it created a lot of negative press, which is a shame, really, because people need to realize that reshoots aren't necessarily a bad thing. Like, how many times do you do a project and then maybe a little bit later go, you know what, I'm going to reshoot that because I can do it slightly better? It doesn't necessarily mean that what you did before was bad. You just want to add something to it that you didn't add before. It doesn't make something a bad movie if they do reshoots.
It could also just be the fact that they were going through edits and then go, do you know what would have been really cool if we did X, Y, Z? They probably didn't think of it at the time, and then all of a sudden come back to it now and like, okay, yeah, let's go do it.
Yeah.
I'm all up for reshoots as long as it's good and the final product is good. It doesn't really make much of a difference to me personally, but I thought Ballerina for a film was a very solid, good, entertaining film, and it kept a really good pace the whole way through. And it became a bit predictable at times, but it was still enjoyable the whole way through.
Yeah, and I thought
tied in very nicely with the John Wick elements to it. Without being Keanu, it was obviously someone else, and it still kept to that style, which was really nice.
Yeah, I think they played the story out well. I mean, they played her story out very, very well. They fleshed it out just enough without being too long. I think she played the role extremely well. I mean, I kind of thought she would. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of her in Bond, to be honest, in her previous role in that. I mean, I'm a big Ana de Armas fan anyway. I think she's great. I think she played the role in Ballerina really, really well. I'd like to see her in more stuff like that. And it did kind of leave it open for a second, and I really hope they change their mind on, if they want to finish John Wick at 5, fine. I really think they should.
I think they should, because it's taking a toll on
Personally,
Keanu.
I think they should have finished it at 4, and I love John Wick, but I'm just hoping they don't ruin it with the 5th.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll see. I would like to see a second one.
No, I 100% agree
Um,
with that. That was definitely a. I mean, I didn't get a chance to go sit in the cinema. I really wanted to, but it's just
yeah, we did, and
it was.
it was just
I had to wait for it to come out on digital for me to watch it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But it was one of them. I kind of was like, I wish I went to the cinema to see this because it would have been a really great cinematic experience. But I can't remember if it went what it came out around the same time that would have maybe prevented people going to see it. I can't remember.
think I can't remember what it clashed with. It did clash with something really big, and I can't remember what it was. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember. It would have
what?
been something big. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was. Staying on the sort of action theme, I watched Nobody 2 last weekend.
Oh, okay. It's any good because I haven't seen that. I haven't even
Yeah,
seen Nobody One
I
yet. They
didn't
keep
see it at the
meaning to.
cinema. So I watched it on streaming. Obviously, with it being the second one, we know his story, we know who he is, what he does, so it kind of loses that element of surprise. But they still managed to get some sort of plot twists in there. The action, I think, is really, really good. As with the first, the story, I think, is okay. They perhaps could have done a little bit more with the story, but it works. It's not particularly long film. I think it's like probably an hour and a
Yeah,
half
40.
at most. It's quite a short film, but I think for that reason it works because you wouldn't have wanted to flesh it out too much. But yeah, as far as action films go, it's not gonna um, win any awards for
It kind of
being
also
innovative.
kind of reminds
But
me back of like the old days of action films. It used to just be action.
yes,
That's what I
yes,
get. That's what the parents I give. I've not seen either one of them, and I keep meaning to. I haven't got around to it yet. But it gives you that vibe of like the old school, like 90s and
yeah,
80s of action films,
yeah,
which is
totally. I mean, I was having
really
a
just fell
conversation
out.
with someone about this the other day about a John Woo film called The Killer, which is was out this year.
Yeah,
Um,
we talked about that
I'm
recently.
a massive John Woo fan, and his films from like the 80s, 90s were fantastic, and The Killer was a good movie, but it was just missing something, missing some of that spark from that era. I don't know whether it was because it was sort of largely shot with a lot of British cast, and previously it wasn't. His movies weren't, but yeah, it was just missing that little spark. And I think Nobody and Nobody Two really do sort of arc back to that sort of action movie era, which I love. I grew up with sort of 80s and 90s action movies. Uh,
And there was an interesting fact about Nobody 2, actually, which I thought was quite good. They managed to get Nobody 2 out and done quite quickly compared to the first one. Like they managed to literally just basically come out swinging. What I think what it was is the main actor. Um, he carried on his fitness program regime from the first one all the way through, even when they weren't shooting, so that when he came back to do the second one, he was already in shape. He kept that level of intensity
okay.
of the training up. That actually, when they came back in, do it, it didn't take as long of a
Nice.
process to get him back up to speed because he just carried on doing it because he was like, actually, he's like, yeah, I really enjoy like the training element, the health and the fitness side that came around with it. So he carried it on. So when they did the second one, it actually cut down on time because they didn't have to get him back into shape for the film. Actually, he was in better shape for the second one than he was for the first.
Okay.
From what
I mean,
I've watched
kind of
from the
thinking back, it kind of shows actually. He did. I mean, I don't know how old's the actor. He's not a young guy, is he?
nineties, about 50s, 60s. Better Call
Let's have
Saul,
a
wasn't he?
look. Well, isn't he? Look. He was born in 1962, so
He is
Yeah, he's 63, so
Hmm. So it's not
not the
it's not
quickest man to
old,
say,
but
but
he's also not really a young guy either. So to get into
yeah,
that sort of
for like
level of
for action films to the level that
Hmm.
sort of Nobody and Nobody 2 is at, I think he's he's in bloody good shape.
Considering he doesn't come from that sort of background as well, and
Yeah,
he made that change in his career to do something like that. It's it proves that doesn't matter how old you get, anybody can do it.
absolutely.
But no, it's definitely that's on my list to see at some point. I just don't know when. Um, that was good. What sort of next? Here's where do I want to go next? Sort of going with a little bit of a trend, and I know this one was a little bit of a controversial one when it came out, or building to come out. It was Jurassic World Rebirth. Now,
Yeah,
I was skeptical when I saw the trailers, everything like that. I didn't go see it in the cinema, but I did get it on
no, me
download.
either.
I did get it on download because my little one loved it. It came out around the same sort of time, just around the same time as Superman came out in the cinema. I watched it on download, and I tell you what, I absolutely loved it. It kind of for me. If don't get me wrong, it wasn't a perfect film, but it did kind of for me. It kind of went back to sort of like Jurassic Park, sort of the original one more so, and maybe about elements of two and elements of three in Jurassic
Yeah, I get
Park.
that. Yeah,
Um, yes, it still follows in the timeline of Jurassic World, and they put a good explanation of why certain things are happening that obviously the courses of Jurassic World and bits and pieces, but it doesn't focus on it and its own identical story, and it's just back to an island, basically running around trying to find something. And it's basically on the reject island because this island, you're like, oh shit, how many fucking islands have they got the dinosaurs on, you know? Well, this is where they sent all the
yeah,
rejects, all the reject dinosaurs, so that you were bound to see some that were funky looking that they didn't want to put in a park because they were ugly as fuck. Uh, they weren't going to sell, so it made sense why they were there. But they weren't the main elements. You know, like where Jurassic World we had Indoraptor and Indo whatever, Indo
yeah. I know
whatever,
what you mean.
where they were the focal points of the films. But in the Rebirth, it's not about them. It's actually about something completely different, and they're actually on the island for a purpose and a reason. And actually, it's
Yeah,
it's good. It's got some good moments in it.
yeah. I agree. I enjoyed it, but my main issue, and it is a bit of a big issue, is just the look of the main dinosaur.
Yeah, the
It
big.
just like with the big fight, it just looked like something out of Mars Attacks. It was
Yeah, no, but I think
it was it it was kind of less scary and more comical. And
I
I get what
think
they were trying to do with it.
they just played on it. It's
That
the reject back to something, and it was.
yeah, that element for me didn't quite work, but the rest of it I did really
And
enjoy.
it didn't work, but the thing that I think they did well with that is the fact that that dinosaur wasn't the key focal point of the film. It had nothing to do with that. That was just there. It wasn't something. It wasn't the reason they were there on that island. It was just a fugly dinosaur that was there, with random as shit. But hey, it is what it was. But that's the thing, and that's what I thought. Okay, you can kind of get away with these hybrid dinosaurs because they're not the focal point this time. They're just on this
No,
island, and
yeah,
it makes more sense that way. And actually, from going into it being very skeptical to an end product, I was like, do you know what? I watched the end. I was like, I'm actually really quite satisfied with that.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
satisfied.
And I mean, I think Scarlett Johansson was great in it. Um, yeah, it was just a good sort of
Sort of like an
not
adventure
something you have
film,
to think about
really.
too much. Yeah, just an adventure sort of action sci-fi, if you like. Um, yeah, I agree. Good, good film.
It had some very good comical moments as well with like the
Yeah,
raptors, which I saw that and I was just like, that's fucking hilarious.
yeah, and I think from a cinematography aspect as well, it was pretty solid.
Yeah,
It looked good,
visually looks
which is
good.
always
Yeah,
important to me.
I think
Um,
there was something that they did in this one, which they went back to the original Jurassic Park and the river scene with the T-Rex was originally meant to be in the first Jurassic Park film, but because the first one was all animatronics, they couldn't get away back in the late 90s to do that particular scene. So where in the world with the CGI, it was possible to do it. So they took that scene that was originally maybe in the original film and put it into
Right.
this one, which I thought was
Oh,
actually
okay.
a nice little nod back, because it was meant to be like the T-Rex chasing them down the river like it happened in Rebirth. So I was like, that's actually quite a nice little nod to sort of the original franchise a little bit with the T-Rex.
Yeah, that is. That is.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So this year, that one is from a film perspective, that was one of my biggest surprises actually this year so
Mm,
far. Was
yeah,
I think because I didn't go in with much of a higher hope for it, I think that probably made it better,
yeah.
because I
Have
was
you
like, oh,
seen Have you seen 28 Years Later yet?
no, I had no intention to see it either, just because
Have you seen the first two?
I seen the first two. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, I've had a few debates about this film with people because some people loved it, some people hated it. I loved the first two.
yeah, I did enjoy the first two.
I was a little bit skeptical about this one for a few reasons. I was, I'll be honest, I was disappointed. Um, I wanted to love it so much, but there were just so many issues with it. From the aspect of how it was filmed, some of the effects, some of the story. There was some great bits, but unfortunately for me, it was a little bit overshadowed by the not so great bits. I just felt it was a bit incoherent. Um, I know sort of Danny Boyle was trying to arc back to the first two and how they were shot by using iPhones to film the whole movie. And I know they weren't just iPhones on a tripod, they were got a lot of supporting equipment with them, but there was some scenes where you could really tell um, the dynamic range was massively lacking on some of the outdoor scenes.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and it was just some of it. It could have been so much better. And yet, I've spoke to some people that absolutely loved it. So,
I
um,
suppose like anything, you look at it from a point of view where us as photographers will look at it slightly different from books. I now go in the films into the cinema, and I look at it from a cinematography side of things now, instead of
yeah,
looking at it as a fan. I
yeah,
look at it and go, oh, okay, yes,
lighting,
and lighting, see how
camera
they've done
angles,
that. So
yeah,
I think the way that we expect to look at films is very different to say like how Nat or Steph will look at it, because for
yeah,
them they'll just go in
totally,
and watch a film. Now, I was skeptical about 28 Years Later because I wasn't. I enjoyed the first two films, but I wasn't like massive fan of them growing up. So I was kind of like, yeah, no, I've seen them, but they're not ones that I kind of jump
yeah,
back into every
yeah,
so often. Um, so I was a little bit kind of skeptical about seeing it again. For me, it wasn't one of these that I was like, I didn't feel like they needed to do one for me,
no, no,
because
I
the
don't.
first film and second film were two different stories within the same sort of apocalypse. One obviously was in,
Yeah, there was kind of links, but they
yeah,
were just they were very tentative links. It was two different stories set at that time period apart, and it worked.
yeah, I don't know, I like the concept behind it, and I like the fact that Boyle tried something different with like using technology and phones to do something different for once. I thought that
Yeah,
was actually really quite genius in that point of view. But
yeah. But I think if he was gonna do that, I'd have just liked to have seen him shoot the whole thing on film and use like some, like an old film stock or something like that to give it more of the sort of older quality um that he was perhaps looking for. But again, you know, I'm sure I don't have the same vision that he has. He earns a lot of money for what he does. He's very popular. He does some great stuff.
it does fantastic.
And what the fuck do we know?
But I think it's a credit the fact that he was bold and tried something different,
Hmm.
and that to me is probably the bit that I'm actually really impressed with, the fact that he actually did get a feature length film actually made in this way. And yeah, it was okay. Yeah, there were iPhones, and there was a lot of rigs and kit to piece it all together to stabilize it. So it wasn't like he's just running around with his iPhone in front of him like that. There was a bit more to it. But to be a bit like, go off the innovation side of things, it was different, fair play for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
If anything, it should make us videographers and photographers feel a bit better about ourselves that yes, you have cameras on your phones, but you still need a good videographer and photographer with a camera.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So you talked about Jurassic World Rebirth as your kind of surprise of this year. Mine, I think, probably might come as a bit of a surprise to some people, was Snow White, the live action.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go, "Fucking hell, you're watching Snow White." But there's a bit of a story to it. So Snow White was actually the original Snow White was the first film I ever saw at the cinema.
Okay.
As a child, I went with my mum and my nan. We had an afternoon out at the cinema. Yeah, that was the first film I ever saw. So the films got sort of like
Nostalgia.
sentimental memory links, if you like. So I wanted to see what they would do with it, and I know there was a lot of controversy around this film, about the portrayal of gender roles, who they'd cast to be Snow White, the Hand of the Dwarves, and all the other backlash that was kind of around it. But you know what? I really enjoyed it. I personally thought it was a really decent movie, to be fair, and I think they did the first one justice to a degree. It's always going to be difficult when you're remaking such an epic classic like that. But yeah, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I sat down one Saturday evening and I said to Nat, I said, right, let's watch Snow White, and she's like, what? I was like, yeah, let's watch it. It's like, okay, but yeah,
I mean, that's the important thing. Is if you enjoy it, then
guilty pleasure.
a guilty pleasure. That's all it is. For me, I didn't watch it. I know Steph watched it, and I was editing. I think I was doing something downstairs, and then I went upstairs to bed, and she was watching it. And I saw the back end of it, or I wasn't really paying attention. But I was like, me, I obviously I can't say much because I haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched a very small element of it, but I had issues with the CGI for me.
Yeah,
I didn't like the CGI. It didn't feel great. I saw the bits I saw, but again, I haven't seen the full film, so for me, I can't really put much of a judgment on it. But I have this whole thing about Disney remakes anyway, so
yeah, that's fair.
And on the list, there's another remake there that I haven't watched, and I'm actually probably going to refuse to watch it just purely because it.
Which one's
it
that?
does. How to Train Your Dragon.
You know what? I was really skeptical about this. I did not think I was going to enjoy it. I did not want to enjoy it. I did not think it needed to be done. However, I'm going to disagree with everything I thought. I really enjoyed it. I think they didn't try and make a new How to Train Your Dragon movie in live action. They literally did a carbon copy of the animated one in live action. There were a few differences to some of the characters, but largely, it was almost like he'd stepped from one world, from one movie into another. It was like a fucking multiverse almost. And for that reason, it impressed me. I actually watched the animated version was on TV the following day after I'd watched this one. So I sat and watched that as well because it had been a while since I'd seen the animated one. And yeah, just the dialect, the way everything was put across, the scenes, they were almost like for like. And I did really enjoy it, and I thought the CGI was great. Do I think it needed to be done? No. But I think as an experiment in, can we take something that was originally set out to be an animated movie and can we do a live action version and do a good job of it? I think they hit the target. yes, it was probably made as a money maker. Like I say, it didn't need to be done, but I don't think it takes away from anything. And I would like to maybe see them do another one. And like I say, I really didn't think I'd be sitting here and saying that. But yeah, that was probably another surprise for me this year.
So yeah, I mean, for me, out of the two, if I'm more excited to have, if I had to sit and watch Snow White or How to Train Your Dragon, it would be How to Train Your Dragon. Now, I love the animated series. I've watched them all recently. Me and my little one, he has seen them. We sat and watched all of them again. I've got them all on my Apple account, so we just put them on occasionally. Um, but out of all of them, I'm not angry that they've redone How to Train a Dragon. I don't feel like they needed to do it, but from the trailers I've seen, it looks like they've done a relatively good job, and that
They
I'm
did it
okay
well,
with.
and they did it very sympathetically to the animated one for sure.
Yeah.
Like I say, they did mess up slightly on one or two of the characters, but overall, I think it's probably a solid 7.5 out of 10. I think for that. So come on, let's talk about Superman because I know
Yes.
everyone loves this.
So Superman. So we'll be seeing Troy in. So Troy will be in the big screen again in 2027. No, no. All jokes aside, when they announced, so when they announced Superman when it first came out, I was a little bit like, it was DC was very much up in the air about where that direction they were going. You got Zack Snyder coming out, and there was potential of Henry Cavill coming back to reprise Superman for Man of Steel 2, and there was all this whole things, and obviously James Gunn and David Safran came in and took over DC, and it was essentially like, oh shit, what the fuck's going to happen here? Now, from that, I always thought, James Gunn, he'll do a good job. He did Guardians of the Galaxy. He's done some really good stuff over at Marvel. He is a very good director. And, the stuff that he has done has been brilliant. Now, I went into Superman a little bit sort of skeptical because I was a little bit like, okay, we're having another change for another character. DC's a little bit up in the air if it's anything good. Marvel's been dominating superhero genre for such a long time. We'll get into Marvel a little bit later because they're at the moment. But I tell you what, I sat in the cinema and I watched this. I watched it with my little ones. I watched it. It was me, Steph, my nipper, and Holly, and Holly's other half. And for me, it was a special moment because I got to take my son, who is 7 years old, to a Superman movie. And I grew up on Christopher Reeves, and I absolutely loved the Christopher Reeves films. He is my Superman. I grew up with Smallville as well, Tom Welling, watched all of them. Then, obviously, as I got older, I got the Henry Cavill, which was a bit more of a mature feel, darker vibes. Okay, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I still enjoyed Henry Cavill's take on Superman. Now, David Cornsweat, I tell you what, I sat in the cinema and I loved every minute I was there. For me, there wasn't a point where I felt like they should have had this, or they shouldn't have had that, or they should change this. I actually sat there as a fan, and I just felt like the inner child come back out again, and was just so nice to have this sort of goofy Clark Kent and this more sort of down to earth Superman sort of thing. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really enjoyed what they did with this, and it did take me back a little bit to like sort of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man in the very first Iron Man film. It was just a good feeling from it. It was like I didn't know what to expect. We're going to have this whole new series of DC films coming out, very similar to the MCU and stuff like that. And I just thought, please be good. I sat there. I tell you what, it's one of my favorite films this year that I've seen. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it because it had the humor, it had the human elements. Because obviously he's an alien, but obviously he's grown up on Earth. He's had this whole misillusion about what his parents are actually saying to him, and then the world hates him, and then he comes back. So it's got that learning point, but at least we're not having a story that is starting from zero again. It basically gave it the Superman or the Spider-Man treatment, where he's been doing this for a few years, and we're now getting
Yeah, I
him.
mean, everyone knows the story now. We don't really need to know how he became Superman, how he came to Earth, how he met Lois. We don't need to know all that information. So I've got no issue with sort of that and how it started. I haven't watched it all yet. I plan to watch it. Then a friend of mine, he was sort of having a few issues, and he's like, "Can we go for a beer? Just have a chat. Just get out of our heads." So I was like, "Yeah." So we went out. We had a few beers, and then we had a few more beers, and then we had a few more beers, and then I got home and was like, "Yeah, put Superman on like we planned." By this point, I was rather drunk, so 40 minutes in or whatever it was, and the giant sort of flying octopus thing sort of was hovering around, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm too drunk for this." Um, so sort of switched it off and said, "Right, we'll watch it another day." So I haven't got around to watching it yet, properly. But
We'll
like
watch
you,
it next weekend, shall we?
yeah, we could do actually. I'll bring my Fire Stick with me, and we'll see. If not, I'll bring my tablet with me. I've got a VPN on it, so
I'm bringing my tablet with me anyway, and I've got it on my account.
cool. So yeah, we could do that. But yeah, I mean, like you, I grew up with Christopher Reeve's Superman as a child. And then I grew up with Smallville as well. Smallville was hands down one of my top shows. For sort of superhero stuff. I absolutely loved it.
We started
I
that
haven't
genre off a little bit, actually.
Yeah,
In that
yeah,
decade, it started with him.
I haven't seen the Henry Cavill Superman films. But from what I've seen in the trailers, they look good. Yeah, and I do want to see. I want to see the new one, and I want to sort of do it justice and watch it when I'm at least semi sober. But yeah, it's got a lot of praise, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next from James Gunn.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think it started the DC side things off well. It's definitely allowed me to go, "Oh, I'm actually really hyped to see what comes out next."
Yes.
We know that then we'll get into what comes in next when we start talking about
Yeah.
films coming down in the future. But the next one for me is going to be something that I really look forward to for next year, which we'll talk about when we get to that section.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of, as we're sat on superheroes, I really want to touch on Fantastic Four, because they came out very, very close to one another.
Yeah. That's another one I haven't seen yet.
Um,
Did a photo shoot for it, but I've not seen it.
It's a very good photo shoot, and I also got some very nice behind the scenes boudoir style shots from you as well, which were
Well, you
very,
got to do it.
very nice. Good film, but disappointed. Casting. So the casting was excellent. I really enjoyed the casting. I think the casting that they've got for Fantastic Four was really, really good. I had issue. The reason why I don't think it was a great film, and I'm probably going to get hated by a lot of people in the cosplay community. And it wasn't saying that the film is like terrible, because I still enjoyed it, but I don't want to say Marvel fatigue. But what I didn't like about it, it just felt like it was a filler film.
Right. Okay.
It feels like we're filling that gap before Doomsday, and this doesn't have that presence of it being its own independent thing. It just feels
Felt like it was kind of like a film for the sake of it.
It was, yeah. It felt like the end of the film. You basically leads in the Doomsday, essentially into parts of Doomsday, and that's not to spoil anything. But for me, don't get me wrong, it was still an enjoyable film. I like the fact that we didn't have an origin story for them. That they've been doing this for about 4 years. Really, the fact that they've done 4 years, Fantastic Four, 4 years. I like the fact that it was set on an alternative Earth in a different space to the rest of the MCU, so at least you don't have to worry about tying up that history. Like I said, the cast was good. I really enjoyed the cast. I just don't. I didn't. It didn't hit for me in the same way like normally they do, and it's like it just felt filler. And
Interesting.
and that's just my take on it. Like I said, casting was great. What I saw, it was. I enjoyed the film. I left it out of there and just went. Okay, I just feel like I now need to go into carry on with the Avengers because it doesn't leave me with that sort of same feeling
I
I
know what you
got when I
mean.
finished
Yeah,
Superman. Like when I finished Superman, I
yeah.
was hyped that I had a really good story. Yes, there's more to come, but I don't know what's coming. Whereas, yeah, okay, we know that Doomsday's coming, but this just feels like it was that bridge into that, and I felt like, I'm tr- yeah,
Yeah.
it it
Okay. Fair.
it just it was a disappointing, but like I said, it's still a good film. It's one of the better ones that they've done. But if I had to pick out of a Marvel film that was good this year, Thunderbolts wins for me.
I've seen that either. You know, I've been um, really lacking on just. I'm just not feeling Marvel stuff at the minute. I want to watch Thunderbolts. I want to watch Fantastic Four. I want to enjoy them both, but I think I'm still sort of suffering from that superhero fatigue.
Think that's where part of for me for Fantastic Four, even though they've slowed down on producing films, I just feel like it it didn't feel like what it could have been, and that's what disappoints me. And I feel like it could have been better.
Mhm. Shame.
It is a shame. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with these characters, but it's just a shame that in their own film they could have had more, and that's just to me is disappointing. So from a summer perspective of films that I've enjoyed and which ones were better, Superman for me is hands down more enjoyable than Fantastic Four. That one took it for me. I actually thought originally it was going to be the other way around. I thought Fantastic Four was going to be better originally than Superman, but then I went to see Fantastic Four and I enjoyed Superman far more from an entertainment point of view.
Run away from the whole sort of superhero Marvel DC stuff a little bit. Happy Gilmore 2, have you seen it?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
But
stupid, but I fucking loved it.
thing is, if you're a fan of Happy Gilmore 1, Happy Gilmore 2
Yes,
is right
I
up
think
your street.
you've got to be a fan of Happy Gilmore 1, and you've got to have seen it more than once. Um, and you've got to remember some of the key things, or not even some of the key things, just some of the elements from Happy Gilmore 1 in order to get some of the references in Happy Gilmore 2, which I think is quite a bold move considering there's such a large gap between the two movies.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
um, because like Happy Gilmore
It was out 2002? No,
1996,
no. Same time as that Waterboy, I think.
so that's a hell of a fucking gap. And it's a bold move, I think, to go with that sort of gap, follow on with the story, and use and rely very heavily on
Nostalgia.
references from the first movie.
Mm.
But it worked. It was stupid, but it really fucking worked. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. It's your typical 90s Adam Sandler, where before he went a little bit
Yes,
too silly with things. Okay, Happy Gilmore was still silly, but it was definitely peaks like Wedding Singer, Waterboy,
totally.
Happy Gilmore. Now, if you were a fan of them style of films from Adam Sandler, you would be a
And you
fan
still love
of
this.
this one, and it was very much
Totally.
in that tradition. And it's like, but also what's hilarious about this, I think a lot of the actors that are sort of the younger actor generation, because obviously we all know Adam Sandler brings in his friends for his films. So there was a lot of the new cast. A lot of them were like, I just want to do this just because it sounds batshit fun. Like they didn't do it because it was going to make their career. It was very much like, this just seems like fun. Like you had the cameo from Eminem, which he plays the son of a very predominant camp, a very small role from the first film, but it's that link, that nostalgia hit link in with it, and the fact that people are like, "Why did you do Happy Gilmore? That's going to ruin your career." And he's like, "He asked me. It sounded fun. Fuck it."
Why not? Exactly.
And that's what it is. It was just something silly.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Sticking on the same theme, I saw Naked Gun last week as well.
So you I
Um,
haven't seen that yet.
I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it because I liked the original movies in the same ilk of like Police Academy and stuff like that. Um, but I really wasn't sure whether A, Liam Neeson would work in that kind of role. He's very sort of dry, very serious, action orientated, and Naked Gun really is not. The other thing I wasn't sure about is Naked Gun is very sort of 80s humor.
Mm.
And I wasn't sure if it was going to work.
Yeah, especially in the day and age we're in as well.
Yeah, exactly. So sort of like in the modern day times, there's lots of things we shouldn't say for good reason. Lots of things we shouldn't take the piss out of. And you watch a lot of films from the 80s and 90s, and we didn't have those boundaries. Watching a film from that era with that type of comedy back now is still funny because it was set then. And I wasn't sure if filming that type of movie, but with the restrictions around things we can and can't say now, would work in 2025. So it took me about sort of 20, 30 minutes or so into the film to get my head around that aspect.
Yeah.
But once I did that, overall, I did find it quite enjoyable. Not the best film in the world, certainly not the best film of the year, but it was quite amusing. I think Liam Neeson did play a decent role. He did a good job of it. Would I watch it again? I'm not sure, but I think it was quite enjoyable overall.
I think for me, for the Naked Gun, I think for me to watch, I think I'll have to come out and stream it, and I think I'll have to be one of them where if I see it and I go, you know what, fuck it, let's give it a go. I don't think it's something that I will go out of my way to see. I mean, I wasn't a massive Naked Gun fan growing up, but I watched them. I enjoyed them, but again, it's like if you went to me and said, "Oh, we're going to put this one on or Naked Gun," I'd probably go with the other one. Depends on what it is. If you're going to say Hot Shots versus Naked Gun, it might be Hot Shots.
Yeah, I agree.
I
was very skeptical about it because it was like, if they suddenly decided to remake Police Academy, I'd be like, no, just leave it alone.
No, like Police Academy, you leave that alone. Like you couldn't do that.
But yeah. Another one I watched, comedy, that I didn't even know much about it. It just popped up on, I think it was Amazon. With Eddie Murphy, was The Pickup.
Okay, so I was going to ask about this because I haven't seen this, but I've seen it on Amazon.
I knew nothing about it. I thought, it's got Eddie Murphy in it, so let's watch the trailer. Watch the trailer. It looked amusing. Again, it's not breaking any boundaries. It's not winning any awards for plot or acting, but as far as just a funny comedy action movie goes, it was it was a decent go. I think Eddie Murphy still got it.
Yeah, he definitely has it.
He played a good role. He was amusing. But Pete Davidson as well, I wasn't sure about him being in a sort of lead role, but he did a decent job.
See, he's a bit hit and miss when it comes to Pete Davidson. Sometimes he can do a phenomenal job, and then sometimes it's just over the top. And I think it depends on the role that he's in, because he can do something quite good. It's like you look at Jack Black from the days, like you put Jack Black in a serious role, and he can actually excel at that. But we know him as this silly, daft comedic type person. But he's done like serious roles in the past, like Enemy of the State, where he's an IT guy and he's serious, but he's good in that. And vice versa. But I think again, Pete Davidson is a bit hit and miss if he's good at something.
Yeah,
but
he did a decent enough job of it. He was all right.
Nice.
The last one I think we'll come on to, which you've seen loads, I haven't seen yet. Everyone fucking loves it and keeps telling me I should watch it. And the whole world's going mad for it, and we'd be crazy if we didn't mention it. It'd be K-pop Demon Hunter. So tell me and anyone else out there, probably no one else out there that hasn't seen this, probably just me. What's the crack with this movie?
Like, K-pop Demon Hunters. I didn't actually set out to actually watch it. I think it was just one of these phenomenons that just kind of, Netflix just randomly dropped. There was no marketing for it. It was just this wash animated film drop, and
Yeah.
then
And
just
it kind of seemed
fucking
like it's
blew
come
up.
out of nowhere.
It did. It's also made by the same studio that made the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man across the multiverse and stuff.
Right.
So the
Okay.
same people that made that make K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't think they expected it to be as big as it was, but
No, it's just
it
taken
just
off, hasn't
dropped
it?
and just blew up. Now I was seeing stuff on TikTok and social media before I saw the film. And I was like, "What the hell's this going on?" Oh, okay, weird. And then sat in the office and just doing some edits as I do. Looked around and Steph's giggling away. I was like, what's happening? She goes, "Oh, watch this." Like, I actually no, this is when we were up in June, Secret Con. She ran off to the bedroom to go watch a film on her own
Oh,
because
okay.
we were watching something else, and she was like, "Oh, I want to watch this little show." Runs off to the bedroom and she sat giggling away to herself on a Saturday evening watching K-pop Demon Hunters in the Airbnb. Now we didn't know this at the time, but then I think one day, doesn't matter what day it was, probably was a Monday. I just sat. I was like, okay, she keeps going on about this K-pop Demon Hunters, so I was sat, put it on, and I thought, do you know what? I'm not bothered. I'll do some editing. I didn't touch edit the whole time that film was on. I just sat and watched this film. It it's fun. It is one of these sort of films that is just intoxicatingly fun, just to sit back and watch. If you don't mind an animated film with some singing, with a silly little story, and some quite fun humor, then
Yeah, I think the reason, because like Swifty keeps saying I need to watch this,
oh, it's definitely a must
and
watch.
but the reason I'm putting it off is I'm not a massive fan of musical singing and dancing films. I'm really not. Um, and there are very few out there that I actually enjoy. And typically with these kind of films, anything with like lots of singing and dancing in, I put it off and put it off, and then end up watching it when I'm drunk, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's really good. Like Greatest Showman was a perfect example of that. I put that off so much,
Brilliant film.
and then I watched it, and I was like, fuck, you know what? I love that.
If you like the sort of Greatest Showman, you're like, I mean, they're not the same thing, obviously, but in the same vein, it's very similar in that sort of context of like singing, dancing. The dancing and actually is like it's not just random dancing. It's actually there's there for a reason because they're K-pop stars. That's what they're doing, and they're hunting demons. And the idea behind it is the more they sing, the more they kind of make this mystical, magical shield that basically protects humanity from demons. So that's so the premise is basically they sing. They're a bit like your typical sort of K-pop stars around the world sort of thing, doing that thing. And songs are catchy, and there is there is that sort of good adult slash childish humor that we used to get from like kids films. When you use it as a kid, you used to have that little adult humor to make it enjoyable for adults. So it still has that sort of element in there with that humor. But it's one of them. It's kind of come out of nowhere, bit of a surprise, and I actually quite enjoy it. I have a 7-year-old. He freaking loves it, and he'll watch it on non-stop repeat. And I've had Steph and him in the car sing along to K-pop Demon Hunter soundtracks in the car driving. So I mean, if it wasn't for having a child, I probably would have been in the same boat as you. Like, you know what? Everyone's hyped about this film. I probably won't watch it until the hype dies down, but I can't get away from that because I have a child. We made Holly. So myself, Pi, and Steph made Holly sit watching. She was adamant she was not going to watch this film. And just out of principle, I swear to God, she enjoyed. I think she secretly enjoyed it. Out of principle, she's determined to hate it, just purely because of the hype around this film. Like she's
I'm
adamant to
like
this
that
day.
with
Like
films sometimes.
I was adamant like with Frozen. I liked that sort of stuff when I was growing up, and like even in my young adult life, I would want to watch Frozen. I saw the trailers. Like, oh, I want to watch this. But there was so much hype around it when it came out. I was adamant. I was like, nope, I'm not going to watch it. It took me about 10 years before I watched it, and it's because I had a
You
child.
still not seen Frozen?
Yeah, so there you go. But no, K-pop Demon Hunters. Surprising, good film actually. Actually, really enjoyable. Probably seen it about 10 times.
You know.
Some are voluntary and some are forced to by partner and child. But I don't mind. It's quite good. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, not watched it. She enjoyed it, but I've not seen it yet.
It's an easy watch, that's for sure.
So let's move on to movies that are coming out. I'm gonna leave a certain one till last because I might go on a little bit about that.
Let's
But
go on a massive adventure from Splashtown.
yeah, so another one that I'm looking forward to, though, I think it's November, is Predator Badlands.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see where they go with it.
I think that first
Um,
trailer made it very interesting. I remember seeing the trailer. I sent it
yes,
to you, and
yes,
it was a weird combination. And I actually then went on a Predator binge after, because I actually went and watched Prey not long after. Talked about it. And I actually really
Prey's a
fucking
great
love Prey.
movie. Also, the animated one, Killer of Killers, that is absolutely fucking fantastic. I love that because it brings all the Predator movies and Alien versus Predator. It kind of brings it all into perspective, if you like, and gives you a bit of an understanding about it all. And I think they've been clever with that to put that before Badlands. And I kind of feel that Badlands also really ties in the Predator and Alien universe really, really well, with her being a sort of synth type person. So I'm really, really looking forward to this.
It does look rather interesting. Like the premises. I think it's what he's a young predator. He's got to go out as like first or something hunt or something like that. I think, and then comes across this synth thing is the premise I get from it. But yeah, I mean, I think what they're doing in that Predator Alien world is actually quite interesting at the moment, and we'll get into Alien related content a little bit later.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we don't see another Alien Predator sort of hybrid movie again.
That would be interesting to see. It really would be good.
Yeah, and particularly as well with all this sort of activity around the sort of Alien franchise as well. You know, with Romulus and Alien Earth that we'll come on to a little bit later. You know, that whole universe at the minute. And then of course you've got the other one in this universe which people often don't realise is Blade Runner. People don't realise that Blade Runner and Alien are in the same universe. And again, I'll come on to a little bit of that when we talk about TV shows and Alien Earth, because there are a few sort of like little Easter eggs and links and signs that the two worlds are linked as well, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think
Badlands I'm really looking forward to.
I think it's going to be interesting because I think it's almost like with Romulus coming out last year, we've got Badlands this year. It does feel like we are very much stepping back into that Alien and Predator world.
Yeah, and I'm not sure after this whether we're going to see another Alien movie after Romulus, or whether we'll see another hybrid between Alien and Predator, which I think would be. I'd like to see both, but
I think they're doing a sequel to Romulus. I know that's on the cards.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah,
which would be good. So actually, that took me by surprise this year. Actually, you know, it was last year's film. I think I watched it this year, and that was really enjoyable. That kind of really took.
I watched Romulus at the cinema, and I fucking loved it. I mean, I'm a massive sort of Alien fan anyway.
I think Badlands. That's one I'm looking forward to. That's probably going to be one I'm definitely going to try and go see in the cinema if I can.
I'll definitely see that at cinema. Yeah,
even if I go by myself, I'll look at that one. Definitely.
Yeah. Another one that's coming out not till next year, but obviously you've already touched on Superman. Is Supergirl. I haven't seen Superman, but I'm already looking forward to Supergirl because I've seen a lot about it. I like the look of where James Gunn is taking it. I really like the casting.
Cast is phenomenal for her, for Supergirl.
I think Millie Alcott will make a really, really great Supergirl. I think she's got the right look, the right build. I just think she will be great for this movie. I also think that, you know, James Gunn's version of Supergirl will be really interesting, but really, really great. I hope anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and you'll see next week, but there is like Supergirl does make a cameo appearance in Superman, and do you know what? That cameo appearance is probably one of the best cameo appearances ever, and it's only like a brief second or two, and it was perfect because it wasn't long. It was literally just a little bit, but it explains so much about that character and one other character. Because obviously you haven't seen it, so it will make more sense when you see it. But it definitely, after I saw that, I was like, oh shit, yeah, this Supergirl is going to be a mess. It's going to be like an emotional mess. She's like a teenager pie, essentially. That's who she is at this point that we're seeing her. So it'll be interesting to see how we go from this lost party animal to superhero sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also like the hype around the sort of pre-shares for Supergirl when it was announced and the casting with the is actually, I really want to do a shoot based on that sort of lookout poster that they released as a teaser. I really, really want to shoot that. So if anyone's working on a Supergirl cosplay based around the new one
I mean,
next year,
who's
and
not?
fancies getting in an early shoot based around that poster, then hit me up on the DMs because I am all over that.
I think half
I'm
the fucking
really
cosplay
excited for that.
community in NCM will be like female, will be in Supergirl.
Oh God, yeah,
There's so
yes,
many of them already.
so much. Yeah.
I don't want to go into the one that you're hyped about just yet because I've done the IMDb search thing. There's a few other films I forgot all about that are
Have a
coming
look.
out.
What have we got coming out?
I'm going to avoid Marvel because yes, we've got Avengers Doomsday, we've got Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man, I'm looking forward to. Avengers, yeah. So I'm going to avoid them just because, you know, we know they're coming. They do look, they'll be good.
Yeah.
There's one film, there is a film that I am looking forward to. It is Christopher Nolan's next film, The Odyssey.
I don't know much about this.
Don't know much about it. So basically the premises is saying, it's set sort of around the sort of, like Zeus and Poseidon, that sort of that sort of
Interesting.
template. But we have obviously Tom Holland's in it, Matt Damon's in it.
See that
Anne
that gives
Hathaway.
me a problem straight away. The fact that it's got Matt Damon in it is like,
Really?
it's like when someone says Jared
Butler.
who's in a
Jared
film.
Leto.
We'll come on to that in a minute. You know, but you know, Matt Damon's one of them people that he's very hit and miss. There are certain types of roles and certain types of characters he's very good at, and then there's certain types that he really isn't very good at.
John Bernthal as well. John Bernthal, Punisher, he's also in this as well. So it's got a good cast for it.
I'm just looking now, and it does look like it's got a good cast. Robert Pattinson, another questionable one, but if he's playing like a brooding fucking emo, he'll do well.
I think he's playing a vampire in The Sea.
Yeah, Charlize Theron as well.
So it's got a good cast.
Yeah,
but
that's got a big cast.
So the trailers don't give much away from it, but the fact that it's Christopher Nolan makes very good films. He's a very good.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck about, does he?
He doesn't mess around. So this is, to me, it seems like an interesting film, but it's also in a genre that I really love. So like the Greek style of the gods, and that sort of element for me, I actually really love that. So that really gets me sort of hyped for another sort of film around that genre. That's really difficult. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that's July next year that comes out. This one might take your fancy. This is what has been been announced as well recently. Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes, forgot about that one. That does look good, actually.
It does. First one,
It does look good.
obviously it's a remake, but first one, actually, surprisingly, I actually really enjoyed. And
Yeah, I did as well. I did because
again,
this one's coming
it's
out in October, actually. I think, isn't it?
May 15, 2026, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
next year.
okay. I thought it was coming out this year. Yeah.
So that's got obviously Carl Urban, who plays Billy Butcher from The Boys, but also in Thor Ragnarok, Hercules all the years ago in Xeno and
Yeah, I remember
whatever.
seeing the trailers. It does look good.
So that looks really quite cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that. What else have we got along the line? Because obviously there's maybe some more Star Wars films. So you've got the Star Wars Mandalorian Grogu film, which was announced at
Yeah.
Celebration in London in 2020, whatever it was now,
Yeah.
2. So that one is obviously going to be the ending of the Mandalorian saga.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Yeah, it will.
Apparently they're making a Scary Movie 6. Don't think they need it, but again, it's just Scary Movie 6. Got Scream 7, so that means there'll be at least a Scary Movie 7 as well at some point. What else have we got? Another film that they don't need to make, but apparently are Moana live action.
Yes. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough said with that
Not
one.
sure about that one, but we'll
I
see.
like Moana the film, but again,
Yeah.
it's a new
Same.
film. I don't know why we need to have a live action film.
No.
Here's one, a remake, Street Fighter. Now, Street Fighter is the first one that came out with Jean-Claude Van Damme all them years ago.
Yeah.
Film, cheesy as hell.
Yeah. But it was of its time.
It was very much of its time. It's like so yeah, that's coming out October next year. That will be a fun one because I think they've just done the cast announcement for that recently, so that looks quite good. So this one, they're obviously doing Narnia remake.
Okay.
So Daniel Craig in, apparently.
Really?
Apparently. This one, I don't know how much truth. Oh, apparently, this is coming out in Jan. 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Okay.
I thought I'd mention that one, just obviously we were talking about 28 years later earlier. So I don't know if that's don't know much about that. Another Marvel film, but I don't know much. They're saying Shang-Chi too, but that's been on the cards for a while, and no actual things have come from that. Obviously, June Part 3 is now being lit for another June film, so that'll be cool. Obviously, they're looking at Pirates of the Caribbean again, now that Johnny Depp is potentially back in the role of Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
But apparently, on the rumor mill for the next Pirates film, they want the original cast back with like Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom, Johnny Depp, and play back down that route again. So that could be interesting. I know they were looking at doing another sort of spin-off that was going to focus around completely different characters, and I think that had Margot Robbie as the potential lead. That, but again, how much truth there is to that, I'm not 100%. That came up. That was interesting. Again, that's been going on for years. Like I Am Legend 2, apparently, but that's been talked about for years. I mean, if they ever get this one off the ground, I would be happy. That's Blade.
Yeah. It keeps getting cancelled and rebooted and cancelled and rebooted and delayed. And last I heard, it was like indefinitely cancelled. But then I've started to see things about it again recently.
I think I would love to see it because Mahershala Ali as Blade will be brilliant. I mean, it's Wesley Snipes is always going to be Blade, in my opinion, from like the late '90s. But if you're going to replace him with someone else, Mahershala Ali, it's a good option, and I think he's credit to him. I think he's been very dedicated to the project from the moment that they announced it. And he's been stuck through it.
I mean, there's still nothing shown on IMDb for it because I think it was they just cancelled it recently. I don't know if they're going to bring that back, but I would like to see that.
So that's some of the sort of the stuff that we're looking at. Obviously, Supergirl. Well, Spider-Man, which is obviously shooting at the moment in the UK, which we've been seeing up
Yeah,
in Glasgow. Obviously, Marvel have moved their production from Atlanta in the US to the UK now.
yeah,
Predominantly going to be
yeah,
shooting UK going forward, and I think that's hit Atlanta quite bad from what I've heard, because obviously they got a lot of business and a lot of jobs came through that, and that's now been moved off to over here. Interesting.
yeah. Strange, but we'll
Yeah,
see. Doom Part 3 as well as another one.
yeah, doing part 3. I like the
I still haven't
first.
seen. I still haven't seen Part 2. I do need to watch that.
Are we actually going to get any shooting done over next weekend? Because I've got all these.
Probably not.
Yeah, don't mind me, guys. We're just going to carry on watching this film first. So yeah, I think film-wise, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, there's always going to be something new that's going to come out, which we'll hear about. But
Yeah, I mean,
there's some
obviously
good
the big one. Well, for me, the big one is Tron Aries next month.
yes, Tron Aries.
I mean, I grew up with the original Tron. Tron Legacy, like, it didn't do well when it first came out, but it's one of them movies that's kind of like grown a bit of a cult following. And lots of people wanted another Tron film, and for years Disney was saying no, we're not doing it. But we've got one.
Yes, very soon.
It's some people, and I was very nervous when they announced this. I was very excited, wondering where they were going to take it. And then they announced that Jared Leto was going to be one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And I was really fucking nervous. Because he is, well, he's not even hit and miss. He's like 70-30. 70% mostly bad, and then 30% he does a good job. I thought he was great in Blade Runner 2049, but that's probably because he didn't have to speak much.
2 minutes of screen time, if that.
Yeah. He's been good in one or two things, and I was really nervous. And then they announced that Nine Inch Nails were going to do the soundtrack, and I became even more nervous because I was a massive fan of the soundtrack from the second one, Legacy, and I really felt that they needed to keep that sort of futuristic sci-fi synthwavy type feel to the soundtrack. But I will say that having seen the trailers, and there's new bits of trailers coming out daily from Disney on this at the minute.
I'm trying to avoid them if I can.
Like every fucking day I'm getting a notification for a new trailer, and I've watched a couple of the big trailers, but I haven't watched any of the new little snippets. And it is looking fucking epic.
But yeah, it looks phenomenally quite. It looks really good,
and it's sounding epic. Like Nine Inch Nails dropped the full soundtrack today on music streaming services. I had a listen this afternoon whilst I was doing some stuff, prepping for this, and doing a little bit of editing. And I'm really impressed. I am really impressed.
Yeah, both of that's got a very Tron vibe. I had to listen to a little bit of it earlier as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't live in an area that's anywhere near an IMAX, but we're up in Sheffield at a gig on the Friday that this comes out, and Sheffield has a really, really great IMAX cinema. So on the Saturday, after we've checked out the hotel, I'm going to go and see this in IMAX. I can't imagine me seeing it anywhere else. Yeah, I'm that excited for this film.
Definitely one that I'm going to go see as well.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Jeff Bridges, the GOAT. I mean, they couldn't do it without him, really. I am a little bit gutted that they didn't follow on from the Sam and Cora story.
Doesn't mean we might not necessarily get a small cameo or a nod to them in the film potentially.
You might get a nod. I mean, I keep looking at the cast. They're not showing in any of the cast listing. They keep updating the cast, but also, you know, Disney are known for keeping things under wraps until things are released.
And they might
So we
also
don't
do the
really
same route
know.
that Marvel do as well, where they create trailers purely just for hype and actually don't actually put any of that
Yeah.
footage into the film,
Mm,
because that is what they do with Marvel
mm,
to misdirect.
totally. So yeah, I am extremely hyped for this. Cannot fucking wait. I don't know when the premiere is going to be for this in London. I'm trying to get some info
Probably
to see if I can try and get down. But the problem is my October is looking so busy that I don't know if I really want to try and get down to London when they do the premiere, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But I'm really going to try, because I'm just such a fan and so hyped for this movie. Massive fan of Jeff Bridges. So that is my, you know, I'm going to say that's my movie of the year, and I'm really hoping it doesn't disappoint.
Fingers
But
crossed, yeah.
you know, we know what Disney are like. It could go either way.
I mean, it could be, yeah, it could go either way, but I think it should be a good film. I'm actually looking
It
forward to
should.
it.
It should. I mean, it
Despite Jared
looks
Leto.
incredible. It's really just the trailers are like sparking off some shoot ideas. If anyone out there is working on any Tron cosplay or wants to do any Tron cosplay shoots, then I'm your man, because I would really love to work on something. Yeah. So I think that's movies done.
There's
I think we'll
movies
move on
done.
to
There's quite a
TV.
few there, yeah.
Mm.
Well, TV hits.
And TV has been just as busy, I think.
Has been. TV's been good this year.
Yeah, there's been lots of like series 2, series 3s. There's been lots of new stuff as well. Mobland is one that I didn't really know much about until I started watching, but is one of my highlights of the year.
I tell you what, so I've just finished that. I mean, I saw the trailers for it when it first came out, and I was like, yeah, this is a thing that I would love to watch, because it is Sky Ritchie. He obviously makes some brilliant films, but he's also did like The Gentleman, the film, but also The Gentleman, the series, which came out on Netflix last year, which was phenomenal. But Mobland is very much in his wheelhouse. You know, it's very sort of rock star.
See, I hadn't seen any of the trailers. I just started seeing, you know, the little thing come up on my Fire Stick home screen, and I was like, "Oh, Tom Hardy looks good."
Fantastic cast.
Oh my god!
Fantastic cast.
I tell you what, I'm going to mention him because, you know, I kind of know him from years ago. I went to college with him. Local lad from where I live, Paddy Considine. I was fucking absolutely stoked to see him in the cast for this, and he just played such a fucking amazing role. I mean, obviously, you know, he's done some other great stuff recently as well. The House of the Dragon.
Yes, he did.
Fantastic
yes.
in season 1 of that. And I am so happy to see that he's getting the sort of recognition that he deserves.
He was one of the best characters in that series.
Oh my god,
him and Tom Hardy.
His character just had so much depth, so many levels, and he played it just so fucking well. I'm so proud of that guy.
It's going to be interesting to see how his character evolves in season 2.
Yeah, because I think they're really going to play to that character. I hope they do.
Well, yeah, based off of how the series ended.
Yeah, we don't really know. We don't really know where, like, or if, you know, one of the main characters is going to make it through to season 2. I would hope so, but I don't want to give too many spoilers. I know it's been out a while, but yeah, just one of the surprising shows of the year for me, I think.
Brilliant soundtrack as well. It was really quite funny. Yeah. Brilliant soundtrack. But what's really quite funny was actually once you've seen the series and you watch the intro credits. Intro credits tells you literally everything that's going to happen throughout the series.
Yes. Yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah, they
It
do.
was like, I was like, oh shit, that just happened. It was like, oh fuck, here we go. But it's the
Yeah, you
subtle
don't really
little details.
realise.
You don't realize it until you've watched the
No,
episode and you go and the credit again. Like the
no.
intro music was so good that it was one of them. Like it's very rare on a show that I don't. I normally skip the intro. All things is a long intro, but this one I was like, no, I'm letting this play because this is a banger every single time.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
just like,
absolutely.
playing it.
But just like that, just the whole cast, Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Paddy Considine, Helen Mirren, Jeff Bell, just so many fucking big name characters in this.
And it was, do you know what? Tom Hardy played one of the most dynamic,
Yeah,
best characters
yeah.
I've seen in television in such a long time.
I
And
think outside of Mad Max, that's probably one of the best performances I've seen from Tom Hardy.
he portrays, because he essentially, the premise behind this, without giving story away, he's a family fixer. So a fixer is someone that would obviously fix like people's issues and problems within sort of crime cartels or crime in syndicates or fixers. And he'd fix the problem. But he is one of these people that like knows everybody. He comes across as this very chill and calm person, but actually when he's being calm and chill, and if he's saying something to you, it's like, yeah, he had that instant respect by no matter who he was talking to. He was just like, he just was mellow and tuned a certain way the whole time. And you know what? It just filled you with like almost like a little bit of joy. You're like, yeah, go on, yeah,
Yes.
go on,
Yes.
Harry. Like that was it, because like you wanted people to test him because you knew if they tested him, it was it. It was over. It was just.
Yeah, I know what you mean about his character. Just like no matter what is happening, he just remains calm, unflustered. You do see changes in kind of what he's thinking and how he's thinking and sort of how fucked the person at the other end of him is going to be. But yeah, I've just never seen that level of composure in a character of that type before.
Yeah, and it's like, without spoiling a bit, it's that end scene with Harry. It's just like, I just pissed myself laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, only him could he be that chill about something. And it was just like, it's like, what the fuck? But it was such good twist. But if you know a guy, you've seen Guy Ritchie films and TV shows in the past, you know that he plays on a story that you think you know what's happening, but then you won't know until the very last instance of a film or the last episode of a TV series what's actually transpired for the whole of it. Because there's always something hidden.
I first became a fan of Tom Hardy when I watched Taboo.
Yes.
And I still hope to this day that they'll do another series of that, because Taboo was fucking fantastic.
He's one of them played the character. He's just one of them very dynamic ranged actors. They kind of swap and change between different styles and genres and just nail it every single time. He's a phenomenal actor. So I'm looking forward to season 2 when that comes out. That was again fucking brilliant show. Probably one of my favorite shows this year. I kind of waited until it all came out and watched it, kind of binge watched it, and I'm so glad I binge watched it, because you'd get to an end of an episode and I was just like,
I think we didn't start watching it until it got up to like, we didn't start watching it until it was about episode 6, and we're like, oh, let's give it a go, and we started. So we had like the first 6 to watch, and then we had to start waiting weekly, and we're like, fuck, this is killing us.
So me and Steph watched the first episode when it first came out, and then after we kind of just left it, not because we weren't interested, but it was more of, there was other things we were watching at the time, and it was like, oh, this is weekly. Let's kind of let it build up, and then actually we waited until it completely finished, and we just binged it, and we were so happy we did that, because, like you're saying, as soon as you got near the end of the series, it's like, no, whoa, I can't, like, it, like, episode would end on a cliffhanger, and you're just like, I mean, they still left it in a cliffhanger at the end of the season, but yeah, no, so that surprisingly good one of the year.
Wednesday, obviously, that was finished. Out. Yeah. I thought season 2 started a little bit slow. took a little bit getting into, but by about episode 4, I think it really picked up. I enjoyed it.
I think what was quite nice about season 2 of Wednesdays, because there was a lot of talk about sort of the casting for season 2. Like, they hid certain cast members until it aired. And I tell you what, brilliant move. Like, they didn't have certain cast members at premieres or interviews or anything like that that would have given away plot stuff. And actually, you just saw them come into the show, and you were just like, "Oh yes, thank God they're back in this, like back in here, and explain it all." I think that played very nicely from the build up of the show, because there was so much talk around why are these certain characters not here, why is this and that, and here and there. But again, it was a solid season, and it was actually played nicely from the last series and carried on for this one. I thought it was very good, and wasn't disappointed with the gap, like the part 1, part 2 gap. So that played quite nicely, and then the episodes for the second half really kind of kicked the pace in a bit more and really sort of concluded the show in a nice way.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Not really much more to say other than that, because obviously it's still quite new. I don't want to
Yeah, I don't want to give it away,
spoil
but
it for people.
it was
Yeah.
a good second season, and I think season 3's been greenlit now by them as well.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Another one I've been watching, Countdown with Jensen Ackles.
That is on my list to watch.
I won't spoil it, but I will say it's very, very good. It is not the fastest pace, but it's a good story. It draws you in. There is some typical Jensen Ackles humor. You know, we see him playing the type of character that he plays well. The rest of the cast as well is strong. Overall, I think, yeah, a really good series. I'm not really going to say too much if you've not seen it yourself.
No, it's on the list of shows to watch. Yes, I think I've really that one, but that does look good. I've seen the trailers for it. Jensen Ackles, can't go wrong with Jensen Ackles. I know one that we both have watched, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Oh, fucking love that. Yeah.
So this is actually like Star Trek: Strange New Worlds actually came out of a fluke, because they were originally introduced in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Now, I really enjoyed Star Trek Discovery season 1 and 2. 3 onwards, kind of for me, were a bit hit or miss, just because I don't like the course they went with it. Still a good show. It's just I just preferred the first 2 seasons. But Strange New Worlds kind of carries on that same vein that they had in that, but also very Star Trek-y that we had from the traditional Star Trek, and
Yeah.
with a modern take on it. And it's actually really quite. It's just it. I love the characters that they've got for it. It's a solid crew, and
I love Captain Pike. I think he's probably one of the best Star Trek captains I've seen in either a movie or a TV show. I just like his whole presence.
I actually like,
you know,
the guy that plays Spock in this one. He's probably one of the the better Spocks. Obviously, Leonard Nimoy is Spock and always will be Spock.
Yeah.
But he plays
but
that
I
role
almost
very
think,
well.
I think Ethan Peck does play probably as close to a Leonard Nimoy Spock as we've probably ever seen before, without him trying to be him, if that makes sense. You know, he really shows off those 2 sides of Spock, the human side. You know, it's
a nice story, because obviously it's not based around Jim Kirk once.
No.
Yes,
no,
even though Kirks are in it, but you start seeing that established relationship. It's nice to see that established relationship between Spock and Kirk, how it starts to like that. Evolves from.
Yeah.
See,
but also I like how they've evolved Spock's journey and his emotional, mental, and physical struggle between his human and his Vulcan side. Because that's something I've not really seen explored before. And I think again that's another way they brought this into kind of like modern times.
And that was an episode actually. It was actually we were talking about the sort of that human side versus Vulcan side was actually really interesting in an episode in this last series where you had members of the crew being
Become Vulcan.
become Vulcan, and then seeing how they were like nitpicking at him for being a half a Vulcan, and it was just like
Yes.
brilliant
Yeah, and
episode.
I think it made him appreciate just how much his human side comes through in him. But yeah, it's just there's just a couple of episodes that I thought were a bit weird, but you always have that with TV shows. There's always what I call like bullshit episodes that like feel like fillers or padding episodes that you perhaps don't need. But largely in this series, I think they all followed on and they all had a purpose.
Yeah, even if there
Um,
was like that one that you class as a filler, it had a connection to the overarching story still,
Correct. Yeah.
which was good.
There was episode which one was it?
The Cluedo one, was it?
Episode 9.
Yeah.
Where Ortega was trapped with the sort of gaunt
Yes.
on that sort of other
that
world
was
kind of. That was a fucking I it's been a long time since I felt like I was watching a movie. The way I was sort of sat watching it, I was gripped throughout, and the whole sort of emotional and physical journey. It was really fucking impressive.
It was, yeah, no, that was a very interesting story because obviously they've introduced these enemy as being this, bad of this Star Trek series,
Yeah,
and
it showed a really great dynamic
a
of this
massive
other race
difference.
that they are. Yeah,
it was a nice
I think
one to see.
I think we're going to see that explored more because they've already signed up for a season 4 and a season 5.
Yeah, season 5's the last season.
Yes, yeah, which is kind of nice to see. I like it when they do that and go, right, we're going to have 5 seasons, boom, done.
It makes it good.
You kind of know what to expect because they can work on a proper story, lead you through with a proper ending, rather than just go, right, we've already started filming season 5. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the last one now, and they kind of like rush the ending. Kind of like how we talked about SEAL Team before, where it was planned that they were going to end at a certain point. I really like when they do that.
I feel like it gives a solid ending.
To fucking can it,
but it's one of them, like a Star Trek show that it was born out of another show. It wasn't expected to do anything with it, and actually, for me, it's one of my most favorite Star Trek shows that they've out there.
Didn't Captain Pike appear in one of the other Star Trek shows as an introduction? I can't remember.
So we had Pike obviously in Discovery, which is obviously this Pike.
That's right. Yeah,
he comes over and take Captain's Discovery.
That's right. Yeah,
at the end of season 1 into season 2, we get introduced to Pike, and they go to Spock in Discovery. The only other time we've really had Pike was in the films with Chris Pine and Zach Quintoff as Spock. And that one, because he's then was one that recruited Jim Kirk into Federation. That's the only other time we've really seen Pike that I'm aware of. Other Trekkies might.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe why that's Chloe. She knows more about Star Trek.
Yeah. Have you seen? Have you been watching Peacemaker?
I haven't seen the first series. I want to.
You've not seen the first series of Peacemaker?
No, not yet. I want to. I want to watch it. It is on my list now that we've got capability in our bedroom to watch it. It's on my list to watch.
First series is fantastic. And I wasn't sure where they were going to go with the second series. But like already there's so many twists and turns. It's a really great season 2.
What I saw of the trailer, season 2 looks really, really good. it has got me to the point where I'm like, actually, I want to watch season 1 and I want to see what this
I
is all
think
about.
it's also sparking off some like really mad fucking photo shoot ideas for me as well.
Yeah, I can imagine what I've seen of it all. Obviously, Troy's love for Peacemaker as well. The hype that he
Yeah,
puts in around it
I mean
also has to.
Troy was out at Dragon Con and I was messaging him and I was like, mate, have you seen the latest episode of Peacemaker yet? He was like, no. I was like, shit. Message me when you have, and we'll talk about a shoot. And he got back. He's like, right, I've seen it. I was like, okay. So, do you know anyone that can make us a version of your head? And he was like, I'm not sure, but I know where you're going with this, and I'll get working on it. So, yeah, that could be
Along
interesting.
with now on with his next Daredevil.
Oh, it's a busy boy.
Imagine. Anyway, Peacemaker. No, that's on the cards. I want to see it. It looks good. I know season 2 is going to tie the DC universe a little bit
Yeah,
more so and rewrite some
definitely.
bits and pieces. I know that James Gunn did a load of filming for Peacekeeper season 2 in Superman, like on weekends when most people were off. He brought them in to film elements of Peacemaker season 2 whilst he had certain characters.
Okay.
So like Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern, stuff like that. So they have them in.
Yeah.
So they were filming on weekends, so it wasn't cutting into Superman filming to be able to film them scenes in Peacemaker. So I know he tied some of it together that way, and I know he wants to. That's kind of going to bridge that gap between the old DC to the new DC a little bit. I think.
Metal. He was interested in Metal. You've seen the first series?
No, not yet. Again, another one on the list.
Yeah.
Got a lot to
I mean,
watch.
it's a bit of an oddball. It kind of, I don't know whether it is, but it kind of comes across as a little bit low budget. But in kind of like a good way, if you like. It's a bit weird.
I mean, it's Anthony Mackie, isn't it?
Yeah,
one of the mains,
and Stephanie Beatrice out of 99, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. My favorite character by far is Sweet Tooth. He's just fucking epic. I really want to do a Sweet Tooth shoot at some point. So Andy, you need to get your costume out, mate. It's coming up to Halloween now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much if you've not seen it, but season 2 kind of like arcs a bit more back to the games. So, but yeah, it's been really good so far. Another one I've been watching is I've not finished it yet. Is a series on Amazon called Mr. Big Stuff with Danny Dyer. It is typical batshit crazy Danny Dyer, to be fair. It is really, really funny. It is a bit nuts and very, very silly, but well worth a watch. They're only short episodes. There's only, I think, 2 seasons so far. I mean, there's like there's only like 6 episodes in a season as well. So it's quite a short one. Definitely worth a watch.
Okay, yeah, I saw something pop up on it for it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And the other one, which I'm not sure if you even aware of, was one called Butterfly.
No, I was going to ask about that. I haven't seen.
Yeah. So I wasn't aware of this until I saw it sort of just pop up on Prime. And I'm a big fan of Daniel Day Kim anyway.
No, I have seen this. Actually, have seen it. Watched the series. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm only like halfway through it. But I loved Daniel Day Kim in Hawaii Five-0 when he
I actually started watching Hawaii
Five-0 Kelly like years ago. Yeah, we've started watching it again recently. I love that series. Yeah, so as soon as I saw he was in it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch the trailer. I watched the trailer. I was like, definitely. It's quite slow moving at the start, but once it gets going, like it's really sort of getting into it now. And I'm really loving it.
Wait for the end of the season. it leaves you with a what the fuck moment.
All right, nice.
I sat and binged it one weekend. Again, I think it was just one of these. I was just scrolling through Amazon, just like
Yeah.
looking for something to watch while editing, and I just was fixed on. I think I binged like the whole series in 2 days, and it
Oh,
was
nice.
was a f- it was a different take on it. But like you said, I really
Yeah.
like the actor. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's a solid actor. Let's give it a go. And I watched it, and I was like, damn, this is my
And
type of this is my type of shit.
the the actress that plays his daughter as well. She's great.
Yeah, it's
Not seen her before, although I recognise her. I'm sure I've seen her in something. I'm gonna have a look actually.
I don't think she's been in much, but I know what you mean. She's got one of them sort of faces that you recognise her from something.
She was in 3 episodes of Flash series,
But yeah, I mean, they did so many of them episodes. I don't really.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, I probably just recognised her from something like that. Well,
No,
yeah,
that Butterfly, brilliant.
I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to it. I'm hoping they do a season 2 already.
Pray to God they're doing season 2 because of the way that they ended season 1. I literally sat there and went, what? So yeah, we need a season 2. So Amazon, please get on that. We need season 2. So even if it's just one episode to tell me what the hell happened, great.
Before I come to the one I'm gonna ramble about, I wanted to touch on Gen V because I keep seeing this pop up. I've not seen it yet, but then I've not seen the boys, so I can't. I don't
Right.
want to start watching this until I have. But
So-
I know you've been watching it.
So I watched season 1 last year when it came out, and I watched the boys anyway. But you do need to watch the boys up to a certain point, and then you can watch Gen V because they do intertwine
Right.
a little bit.
Okay.
That's why I said don't jump into Gen V until you watch the boys. Even if you get to the boys season 4, then watch Gen V, you're fine. But Gen V has just come back out. The first 3 episodes of season 2 are out, and then I think now it's going to be out weekly, so it'll end I think early to mid October. It's they're in the same universe as the boys, and like the boys is batshit anyway. Like it's just pure. What
Yeah, I
if?
mean, I think I
he
started
has
watching the
superpowers?
boys not long after it came out, and then it was at one of them points where I'd got so many other things on and so many other things to watch. I kind of binned it off, and I keep going back to it occasionally at the wrong point where I'm just like so busy. So I really do want to watch the boys because I have enjoyed what I've seen. So
I think the boys is really, especially in the day and age where we have a lot of superhero type things out. Flash, the Arrow, Marvel, Agents of Shield, DC, whatever. Now it's a refreshing take because obviously, what if we did have superheroes in our world and they were assholes? Because let's be honest, you got superpowers, you're gonna get the asshole out there. It's inevitable, and it's a brilliant concept for superheroes are actually dicks, and essentially Gen V is basically superhero university college, so they use young superheroes to be the next heroes of this fucking universe and stuff like that. And you obviously have some that are batshit crazy as Homelander, and you've got some that are just want to get by in life and not cause any issues, and they get caught up in bullshit. And it kind of follows very closely
yeah.
with how the boys is, but obviously being its own identity separately. There is some interlinking to it, but not massively. I think that when I say like really watch Gen V near season 4, it's just purely because of just characters that are introduced in the boys cross over a little bit, but not to the point that they steal the show. They're there as like little cameos for a little bit, and then they go away, and it's then back to the main cast of Gen V. It's basically superhero college and a lot of weird experiments and murders and fucked up shit.
Fair enough. So the last series I wanted to talk about, which will probably come as no surprise to most people, is Alien Earth. I know you've been watching it
Religiously.
I mean, I'm a huge Alien fan. right from the first movie. Huge Ridley Scott fan. So obviously, the original Alien movie, sort of back in '79, I think it was. And then Aliens, which was what, 80?
I think 88, 89?
86, actually, earlier than I thought. Alien 3, I'm not going to talk about. Alien 3 was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't the best in the franchise. Prometheus and the Covenant, people kind of hate on them a bit, but I don't mind them.
Don't mind them because they're their own sort of standalone within it. And
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, exactly. Alien the original, Ridley Scott, obviously James Cameron for Aliens. I love them both. Like I say, I'm a huge Ridley Scott fan, Blade Runner and all the rest of it, and I think he really shows his talent in Alien. But I actually really do like James Cameron's Aliens. I really love the additional sort of action and the way it opens Sigourney Weaver's character up, Ripley, a bit more.
Yeah.
And I was very nervous when they said they were doing a series about in the Alien franchise. Obviously, I was nervous when they said they were doing Romulus. But I really, really rated that film. I went to the cinema, and I really, really rated it. It was a real sort of arc back to some of the earlier films, I felt, in the way it was filmed, the way it looked, the acting. At the time, the people starring in it weren't massive big names.
No, it weren't.
Which I actually really liked because they weren't sort of using that to carry the weight through. When they said they were doing a series and it was going to be, I don't know who's produced it actually. It's down as Hulu, but I don't know which.
What, as in what, Alien Earth or
which Alien Earth. I don't know which production house has made
FX.
FX.
So Disney.
And I was nervous, but I was gripped from the first fucking episode. I'm absolutely loving the cast, the characters, and the people they've cast to play them. I just think work so well. Sydney Chandler as Wendy, it is just absolutely amazing. It just stunning. And Timothy, is it Timothy Oliphant? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, the brother.
As Kirsch. Like, his character is just growing and growing and growing with each episode. There's so much depth.
It was really quite, especially that last episode as well with him. It's like you've been seeing him sort of observing things, and you think, oh, is he going to react to it? And then actually twist.
Because we know typically from the Alien films that whatever happens with the androids, it doesn't end well.
No.
You give the androids any kind of responsibility, any kind of power, and it doesn't end well. So you kind of know from the start that he should end up with some kind of ulterior motive. And I think that's the way it's looking.
It is. So far, yeah. It's like first is definitely the person.
Because when he was sort of studying what was going on with Slightly and Morrow, when they were having that sort of connection, and he was doing what Morrow wanted him to do, and Kirst was watching him on the cameras, and you were like, is he just gonna like glitch in there, mate? Is he just gonna like fucking corner him and kill him or what? But then like he just, and like spoiler alert, but like fucking we really need to talk about this show. So if you haven't seen up to the latest episode, you might want to pause here and carry on watching as when you have. But when they're smuggling the body out to go and meet Morrow, and Kirsch catches them, I thought, fucking hell, it's all over. But he just like, oh no, you should, you don't want to go that way. You want to go that way, and he kind of helps them, which was a really unusual twist. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. A little bit, I was like, whoa, hang on, that was not what I was expecting. I thought he was going to chew her out and all this other stuff.
Yeah. The way Wendy's character is developing, you know, we've seen her go from this, you know, to all intents and purposes, they're all kids, they're all children. You know, even Boy Cavalier, I don't think is particularly old. He's like some boy genius, isn't he?
Yeah. Basically just Sheldon.
But you know, they are children in an adult's body, and you kind of see them wrestle with that. You know, that whole early battle with adolescence, and what it's like to become an adult, and the mental toll that plays. And it's a really great story. But kind of Wendy's character goes from this sort of loyal, I would do anything for Boy Cavalier, who gave us this opportunity, to now like, he's a fucking crook, he's not our friend. You know, we need to get the fuck out of here, kind of.
We're even sort of seeing that sort of dynamic changing with her and her brother as well, especially this last episode, because she was all about, oh, I am saving my brother is my family, blah, blah, blah. And obviously that put a bit of the others on the back foot with her, because it's like, oh, hang on, why is Wendy allowed to have family, but we're not? And that kind of plays that dynamic between them.
Yeah,
and
you're seeing her, I think you're seeing her shift more from who she was as a child to who she is now as Wendy. And obviously the connection that she's having with the Xenomorph is obviously fucking with her head, because she's now obviously, you know, really showing compassion with this creature. And it's been an interesting evolution over the episodes.
And we were talking about the Xenomorph yesterday.
Yeah.
The coloration of this particular one.
Yeah.
Different.
Which, and you know, I don't mind the coloration, because this is the first time we've seen a Xenomorph in natural light, daylight. We're used to seeing a Xenomorph in, you know, deep space, in the docking bay of a fucking spaceship or some dark tunnels. So I don't mind the coloration, because the coloration kind of arcs a bit more back to Geiger's original artwork from the first movies, with the sort of grey transparency type. But also I think it kind of, you've got aspects of the fact that this one has human DNA, so that could be playing a thing.
I just wonder if it's a symptom of this is what I say in the message. Is like, I wonder if it's a symptom of the environment, because
it could be. But also, I think
it was in a lab in one body organ, whereas normally it would be in a human host who's pumping blood constantly, whereas this one is being fed.
But also, this one hasn't been into space yet. So, you know, like years of a species in space would probably take its toll on pigment and color.
This is why I'd be quite interested to see the second Xenomorph when it matures a bit, because obviously we've just seen that one come out of a living host. Now, is that one going to be slightly different? And
which came from a face hugger from one of the original eggs from the original Xeno. So I think it will be interesting to see if there's any difference, because the one that's having the relationship with, or the connection with Wendy, obviously we're not seeing the typical pipes on the back, and you know, they almost like seem like they're cut off. But I also wonder whether
it's an adolescent one as well.
Yeah, but I also wonder whether the connection to Wendy is something to do with the human DNA being from her brother.
She was always different anyway, because we see that she was different. The connection she had with technology in some ways.
Yeah, but they took Joe's lungs out when he was obviously attacked. They took his lungs out, didn't they? Replaced them, and they grew the Xeno in his lungs with his lung DNA. So I wonder if that's partly to do with the connection with that particular Xena. I don't know. It's an interesting play.
It is,
And I
yeah, the
like where
dynamic
it's
of how
going.
they are. It's
Yeah.
interesting. I think we've got potential. One episode left of season 1. We know that it's been picked up for season 2. I don't think we're going to find much more detail between
No.
one episode in regards to the differences between
Yeah.
xenomorphs.
I also think that the coloration thing could also be it maybe sort of adapting to its surroundings. Almost in like a chameleon type way.
Essentially,
Could be there could be an aspect of that because obviously the overall skin or whatever it is on the Xenos tends to have a bit of sort of transparency to it. So I wonder whether there is some sort of adapting to its environment. But
it's the reflection of light. If it's got a slight transparency
yeah,
to it, it could be like
exactly,
a camouflage.
exactly. But the latest episode was just unreal.
Yeah, it's like,
I there was some twists in that I really did not expect.
so we all know that I'm not a massive fan of the facehuggers. Like one of the things that creeped me out. I mean, I would take a facehugger over a clown. I absolutely despise clowns. But I think I found another thing because of this series that I despise more than the fucking facehuggers, and it is that eyeball tentacle thing that's in the sheep.
The T-Oculus. I fucking love that thing.
The thing is, it is hilarious in what it does, but it freaks me. It's one of them. It just freaks you out a little bit.
I am so fascinated with that thing, but I'm the opposite to you. I'm a massive fan of the facehuggers.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind. I suppose this is the dramatic music and the lighting and everything.
I'm fascinated by the Xenos and the facehuggers, but the T-Oculus, it just boggles my mind. I'm obsessed with it. It's so bonkers, and the way it sort of like has got into and started controlling that sheep is just mental. And in the episode where that other I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah, it's one of the systems, the lab system.
The lab assistant, yeah. When he was sort of feeding some of the other species when there was a malfunction in the lab, and the way it controlled that sheep to sort of like bang the door so that he'd stumble, and and then obviously Boyd Cavalier's reaction to the way the T-Oculus is evolving, and his sort of what he said was something about, you know, he knows exactly what he wants to do, or he has a perfect person because he wants to put it into a human. And I'm like, I'm kind of thinking it's Joe.
I think it's Joe, but I also think it's Boyd Cavalier.
This is it. His pure fucking arrogance about himself and his own intelligence has me thinking that is he wanting to put it in himself because he thinks that he can.
He made the comment of like, I want to put it in nobody. So it'll either be the janitor that we keep randomly seeing around the place, or it will be Joe. But what I think will happen is Kirsch will put it in with Cavalier, because that's his eventual goal, is to put it into something, to somebody. He has his own agenda.
He wants to put it into something that a human being that has intelligence. That was kind of what he was saying. And obviously Joe does have an element of that, but not a huge amount. And the natural person then would be himself. So I'm a bit intrigued about that.
I got a funny feeling that the Oculus will be in a human by the end of next episode. It will be out of that and into a human. Yeah.
There's no way we're gonna hear him have that plan and then not see it executed before the end of season 1. I think
if anything, I think the big cliffhanger will be something that thing is controlling a human.
I think the end of the episode will include that being in a human. Absolutely.
Because that thing is playing too much of an important role in sideline parts. It's like it's not like obvious that it's the important factor in this, but it's observing everything that's happening.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
absolutely.
surprised if it also tries to go for an alien as well, because someone made a very good comment about
Well, yeah,
aliens, even
because
though it
when we
has a hard
saw
shell, it has eye
it doesn't
sockets.
have eyes. It does yeah. So we saw the interaction between the Xeno and the Teoculus
Ship. Yeah.
in was it episode 6?
5 or 6 when they went back to when they were
Five
on
or
the
six
ship,
when they did the backstory.
which
Um,
I loved.
and
That was brilliant.
it was one of the best episodes for me. But the way the Xenomorph reacted to Teoculus was a surprise. It
Yeah.
was almost scared of it.
Yeah, because
Whereas
it knows
normally you
that it
don't
could probably,
see. Yeah. Now, obviously, the Xenomorph doesn't have eyes, so it can't take control of it in the typical way.
but it doesn't say it can't control it.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
because someone did like a scan of like the original artwork design, that actually the alien still has eye sockets behind its hard head shell. So they're saying that the Teoculus is trying to smash through the shell to get to the
Yeah.
socket.
Yeah. Because if you
I
look
think
back to the original artwork, especially from Covenant, where there is a Xenomorph skull, it does have eye sockets and a nose socket. But like you say, it's got that
over. Even
that
if you
sort of
go back,
extended cranium that covers its eyes and
even if you
nose.
go back to Romulus as well, when you had the Xeno up in the rafters, you see half its shell ripped off, and you see the skeleton
Correct.
which has got eye sockets. So I got a feeling it's either going to try and smash through the shell to get into the socket, and it's either going to go into a human or it's going to go into one of the aliens.
Yeah, so I think it'll either go into the human or it'll go into the new, either the new or the one, or I'll call it a hybrid Xeno because it's got obviously human DNA. But yeah, just the way I've seen it cop some flack from people on some of the forums and groups online. Some of the die-hard Alien fans seem to be struggling with it. I consider myself a die-hard Alien fan, but I'm loving it.
I didn't say I'm a diehard Alien fan, but I'm enjoying it, and I enjoy the Alien films. I think this is a solid series. It's like it's adding in
totally.
so much more depth into the show, into the franchise.
It's probably my series of the year. It's been a long time since a TV show has gripped me this much.
You can agree with that, yeah.
I could, if they linked all 8 episodes together into one, I could watch the whole fucking 8 hours straight. Easy.
I think the one thing that I have to say I give them for that I really like is the fact that each episode is about an hour long. And that was always my biggest issue with Disney, was when like The Mandalorian came out, it was like 20 minutes, half hour long episodes. And that was always my fear with something like this, that it would die it down to a too short of a thing. So I feel like I'm glad that they have the runtime of an hour. And I think that's the thing about that. It is that. But I think the first episode is like almost like feature length film. It's like an hour and 30, I think it is, for the first episode, which was a brilliant starter for the series. It was really good intro.
Yeah, and obviously there is already talk of season 2. It's not confirmed yet, I don't think. But Noah Hawley has been talking in interviews saying he already knows where he would like to take it, where he would like to set it. But obviously he has said that he would like to do it he needs to work out how they would do it in a shorter time frame so that we're not waiting like 3 to 5 years, which would be great. I don't mind waiting a year or 18 months. I wouldn't want to wait any longer purely because I'm impatient and I'm loving it. But if they give us another Alien movie in between that time frame, I don't mind waiting a bit longer.
Well, we've also the fact that we've got
bridge the gap.
Predator film coming out, which will bridge that gap a little bit as well.
Yes, yeah, totally.
Especially with the wedding honey synth.
Yeah. I think I've probably rambled enough about Alien Earth now, and I'm probably going to bore people. So, let's move on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not massively up on TV shows and what's coming out next. I know a couple that I'm really looking forward to, and that's Stranger Things, which obviously is going to be the final series. And I really love Stranger Things because it kind of arcs back to my favorite era, the 80s. Not going to say anymore because we don't really know what's going to come, but I am really looking forward to it.
Looking forward to. I was late to Stranger Things, so I think I came into it when season 4 was just being released. I binge watched all the other series and then I went straight into season 4. I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward. I'm kind of glad that again it's been one of these that they knew that season 5 was going to be their last, and they're really pushing forward on that idea.
Yeah, I'll be
Another
interested to see how they work in, obviously, the now massive age difference with 11, because it's been a lot of years since the last season.
yes,
And
it's what, 3
I
years?
don't know, they can make people look younger. They make characters in their 20s look like late teens and mid teens all the time. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where they go with it. The next big one for me,
Fallout.
which I can't fucking wait for, almost in the same excitement vein as Alien Earth, and that's Fallout.
That's like November or December this year,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. Yeah, December, I
Mm,
think. Um,
December, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I absolutely loved the first season.
Yeah, no, the first
Um,
season was good. I really thoroughly
Now I've
enjoyed
never
that.
never played the games.
I tried, and I just couldn't get into it.
It is making me want to, particularly Vegas. Um, but I just love the way the show has been done. And a lot of people that have played the game seem to be very, very happy with how it's been done. I think Ella Purnell plays the character absolutely amazingly. I think she's great as an actress. Um, she was great in Sweet Pea, which is another series that they've announced a season 2 for, which I'll come on to in a minute. But I am really, really, I think they're going to take this in like a Vegas kind of
I think that yeah, they're
ilk by
basing
the
the
looks
season
of it.
2 off like New Vegas. I
Yeah,
think is the
yeah,
basic premise for it, which would be interesting.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
really looking forward to it.
good one
Um,
again. Again, Amazon. Amazon's just like nailing it.
yeah,
Um,
they're smashing it. I don't
um,
know. The problem is they don't do enough
MGM Amazon now.
seasons. They just don't do enough episodes of things sometimes.
Yeah, that's part of my downfall with Amazon a little bit.
That seems to be the same for a lot of stuff now, and I get it because some of the stuff now is some of the TV shows now are becoming really big budget. I mean, the budget for Fallout must be huge, and the same for Alien Earth.
Yeah, you got to think they're bringing in like film quality entertainment into
Yeah,
in this
so
stuff.
any more than 8 episodes is probably like beyond the budget that they'd want to go for. But I think they've also they have also secured a season 3 for Fallout as well, I believe.
Yeah, they have. I think they got
So
announced last week, I think,
yeah,
which is good because yeah, it's a smashing
yeah.
show.
But it
I
looks
think
like it's coming out 17th of December, so just before Christmas, which would be nice.
good. That'll hit really well.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then
yeah, downfall is
finishing
weekly, but
start of Feb by the looks of it for season 2, which would be
it's
nicely timed for Secret Con in March, actually.
which we'll get on to. We'll get that on that in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of Fallout stuff at the last Secret Con bunker. I think we'll probably have more, but yeah.
Yes, we probably will. Um, Another one that I haven't got on the list, but I'm actually quite looking forward to is One Piece season 2. That's coming out early
Oh,
next
I've
year.
not seen the first one.
First one was good. I'm actually really looking for the second one because first series is basically about getting the crew together, whereas the second one season is going to be like the crew's already established together, and it's like building on that family bond sort of thing as crew. I saw the trailer. I saw some footage of it the other day, and I just thought, do you know what? I forgot all about this. I'm actually really excited to have that come back. It was just I forgot about it earlier because it hasn't really been push too much promotional wise, and then all of a sudden it's just dropping little nuggets here and there, and I was like, oh shit, that's back next year. That looks really good. Yeah, One Piece was good.
Interesting. I do need to watch that at some point. I don't really know much about it, but I want to give it a go.
I was then debating to watch the anime, but like the anime's got like something like 13,000 episodes or some stuff like that. Got like a lot of episodes for it. Obviously, Reacher fans, we've got season 4 of Reacher next year as well.
Reacher, yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, I thought the last season of Reacher was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant! I mean, I just love the Reacher film franchises because the franchise TV series because each series is just its own individual story, but it's all still
Yeah,
intertwining and
yeah,
it's fresh and it's different each time. So it's like you don't know what you're going to get
yeah.
with it.
Absolutely.
He's fantastic. Gonna butcher it neatly.
Neegly. Yeah,
So Reacher's right hand woman has got
yeah.
a
There's a
spin-off
spin-off.
series,
That'd be good.
which nothing about, but the fact that she's
I'm kind of hoping we see a bit of a cameo from Reacher, but also at the same time, I wouldn't want him to overshadow the show if it's about her.
yeah. I think I agree with that because I think some of the best stuff in season 3 was the office stuff that we had with her where she
Yes,
had that small cameo. So
yes,
bringing her sort of humor and way that she is into her own show is going to be good. I'd like to see Anna Richardson in there as well, but like we said, only briefly because I think it's a bit very similar to Ballerina and John Wick. You don't want
yes,
him
yeah,
in it too much, but maybe like a telephone call or something else. Or her sending him money or something like that, like she normally
yeah.
does.
Just a little cameo. I think that's
I think that's what you need from it. Yeah, that will be an interesting one because I know nothing about it. I just know that they're filming it.
yeah. Another one I'm really excited for is Sweet Pea season 2. Have you seen Sweet Pea season 1?
I haven't. I need it again. It's another one that I need to watch. Steph's seen it and she said it was really good.
Um, I loved Ella Purnell in Fallout. Obviously, I've seen her in other things as well, and she was fantastic. Yeah, well, Arcane's the obvious one, but also the Mrs. Peregrine's School for whatever it is, and Yellow Jackets is another one that I want to see, but Sweet Pea allowed me to see a different side of Ella Purnell as an actress and the depth that she can play. The character that she plays in that series is fucking cold and brutal, and she plays it impeccably. And I was so happy when they announced a season 2. I'm not sure when it's due out. I know they're filming it at the minute because she keeps posting sort of teasers and snippets on her stories. I mean, I don't normally do guests at cons, but I met her at last
That's
October's
October.
MCM. Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm absolutely loving everything she does. She was really, really sweet to meet, although you only get like seconds on a photo op. But yeah, really, really excited to see where they go with season 2 because season 1 ended on a real cliffhanger. So it'd be interesting to see how she gets out of it.
I mean, I've got a lot of things to catch up on by the sounds of it. So it's just I just don't have the time in the day to watch off these shows.
I know what you mean. There was another show that's coming out that sprung to mind not long ago, but now I can't think of what it is. We'll have to do another nerdy episode at some point. So
I'm sure there will be another one because they're always going to be bringing out something that's going to be relevant.
Star Trek Academy, you said is coming. I
Yeah,
don't know much about that.
I don't know much about. I know it's going to follow on. I don't know where in the timeline it follows on, but I just know that it's something that they're working on because obviously Strange New Worlds is ending in season 5. So I think this is their next big sort of Star Trek project that they're working
Nice.
on. So if they go down the same vein as Strange New Worlds, then it could be one to watch out for, especially if you're a Trekkie fan.
So they got looks like they got
Academy.
Holly Hunter as kind of like the lead. I mean, she's a good actress.
They've
Oh,
got looks like it had good cast though.
but they've got Robert Picardo. Nice. That's a nice little twist.
So it
'Cause
does
he
look
was
like it's set around the sort of earlier days, probably
it
even around
looks
Strangely
like
World
it.
days.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to look at like the uniforms is what I'm trying to look at because the uniforms will give away roughly sort of a time period. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is set a little
yeah,
bit after
'cause well,
Strangely Worlds.
Robert Picardo was Star Trek Voyager days.
Oh,
Um,
is it?
yeah, he was the Doctor in Voyager, and it looks like
Oh, Robert. Oh, Robert. Yeah, 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 yeah,
he
yeah.
looks like he plays the Doctor in Academy, so that'll be interesting because
Oh, hang on, this is
he's in
interesting.
his 70s now.
So
But he
you know the
because he played did he play like a hologram Doctor or something in Voyager?
yeah, he did, but this has got some of the cast from Discovery in. So this to
Interesting.
me, so they've got Sylvia Tilly, who was the cadet in the first series of Discovery, and then obviously goes off to Starfleet Academy as an instructor in the later series. So she's in it. You have Auden Fear, who was the admiral in the future, and you also then have the crazy scientist lady that went with him as well, which we found on an asteroid in season 2 of Discovery. So the crazy lady there. So this, to me, based off them 3 members of cast who were all in Discovery, but also to me that say that this is going to be set around or after Discovery,
Yes.
which is interesting. Which could be quite, I think, could work quite nicely because we're setting it in a time frame that they haven't really explored much of, apart from in Discovery. So it opens up, I guess.
I never finished Discovery. I do need to finish that off.
I I still think season 1, season 2 is the better season of Discovery. Season 3 through 5 were still good, but I
I
just
think
feel
I've
like it's
seen
lost that
season 1.
magic.
I think I've seen season 1 and 2. I think I started watching it at one point and then stopped. And then um a while ago, when was it out?
Yeah, it ended last year or the year before.
Then I was a friend of mine who works mostly and lives mostly out in Lebanon, but still got a place down in Epsom. I was down visiting him when he was back, and I was down there for a weekend, and we'd been out drinking, and we literally got back to his, and we binge watched the whole first 2 seasons. We literally did not sleep. We just stayed up, watched the whole fucking lot in one go.
Them 2 seasons were brilliant. I'm actually currently I'm about halfway through season 1 at the moment. I've restarted watching that because I want to get back on the Strange New Worlds again, but from the start. And I thought, you know what, let's start with Discovery and go through season 1, 2, and then go back on the Strange New Worlds and blah blah blah. But I'll probably rewatch the other later seasons of Discovery as well because they were
Yeah,
still good. It was just I
yeah.
just kind of preferred it in the time
I mean,
frame that they were in.
I probably need to go back and start it from the start because, like I say,
So much happens.
we stayed up for pretty much like a day and a half straight without fucking sleeping, watching Discovery of season 1 and 2, but like literally almost back to back. I think we started about halfway through season 1 because we'd both already seen at least that far. And yeah, we just fucking binge watched the whole thing. So I do
Yeah,
need
no,
to go back because I was very, very sleep deprived. Um,
yeah. So that could be an interesting watch as well and be a very different take.
yeah,
'Cause I
I
think
think that'll
that
be
on
good.
Earth,
Do we know when that's due out?
it just says series premiere 2026.
Yeah, that's interesting because obviously we're not going to have had season 5 of
No,
Strange New Worlds at that
but,
point. So that's
but the
good.
thing is,
It's
though,
going to like
this
run
does.
concurrently.
I think this is going to be set in the future where Discovery left off, based off of the casting.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be set in a different time frame, isn't it? I can tell by the uniform actually.
Yeah, because Discovery goes into the future, like way into the future, like even the future that like before, like after Picard, after Deep Space Nine, after Voyager, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that makes sense why the Doctor would be there because he was a hologram.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the sort of route that they've gone.
Yeah, unless they're gonna use CGI, I don't know how they're gonna get away with the Doctor aging like 20 or 30 years, but
Software updates,
yeah,
iOS 44.
Robert Picardo's in his 70s now.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So
But
yeah, that
yeah,
might be an interesting to look out
that's
for.
one I hadn't even that wasn't even on my radar until you mentioned it, and now I'm, like, really interested in it.
I'm intrigued to see it just because they've done so well with Star Trek over the last few years
Yes.
that
It's you know, some people say you're either a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan, and I do like both, but I will say I'm more Star Trek than Star Wars.
I think Star Trek at the moment, if I had to say it, I think they've been hitting it out of the park a
Oh,
lot more
sure.
over the last few years, especially with their series.
I think deep down, I've probably always been a little bit more. I was always a massive fan of like Voyager, Deep Space Nine. Um,
Cards Enterprise used to love
oh,
coming home from the
Picard's
Federation.
Enterprise, and then obviously they did the Picard show as
Still,
well, which was fantastic. Um,
season 2 was my favorite. I think season 2 and
yeah,
3
yeah,
were the better
definitely.
ones. Season 1 was slow, but it's still
Yes,
good. But yeah, season 3 I thoroughly enjoyed. Card, and I think they did that really well. And it was a very nostalgia moment. Season 3,
was it was
very
they sort
nostalgic.
of arced back a lot to like previous Star Trek shows. Um, yeah, it was good.
It was good. So
Um,
I think what games we move over to games.
Gaming,
I
yeah.
think we have. I don't think we've got much on the gaming front.
I mean, no, we haven't. We haven't because
It does
there's
feel like
not
the gaming
been.
industry is a little bit slow at the minute.
Yeah, the gaming industry's been a little bit flat this year. Um, there's not been much, if any, sort of new stuff. There's been like some remasters, obviously Gears of War coming to PS5
PS5.
with Gears of War Reloaded, I think it's called.
Yeah, Gears of War Reloaded. So it's the first game of the franchise. So it's not the second one. I did look
No, I
into this to see if they were doing the second and third one from the original series. It doesn't
think they
look like they
probably
have
will. I
any.
think we'll see how this goes.
I think they will over time. But I think they'll be saying that they just drop out of the blue, like they did with the Call of Duty remakes that they
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
or the remasters.
I think they'll
Um,
be like similar to what they did with The Last of Us when they ported it to PC
yeah,
from PF. Um,
yeah. No, that was a lot of fun. It was really nice to kind of have the enhanced graphics on it, but still keeping to the roots and very much
I
it
need
fit
to
really nice.
I need to install Gears again on my Xbox,
It is
and
just, it is just such a
it's a solid
great,
game. It really
solid
is.
game, solid storyline. I was saying this to my mate 'cause I streamed the first half of the game and he recorded it. He does YouTube, Covert Stubbz, does all the sort of platinums. I think this is going to be one of his failed platinums because I think you need like 1,300 hours of 13,000 kills in multiplayer and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that. Um, because he does a lot of the platinum in games. Uh,
Nice.
So we tend to play some games together, a bit like this. We did Space Marines as well, in this one. Um, it was such a trip down nostalgia lane. It was so much fun to play. Um, it kind of reminded me of like gaming from back then when it was like co-op gaming was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It really got big with that being able to play two characters within the same story. Um, because normally you could only play like 40 players and stuff like that, split screen. Whereas this brought into the element that you're playing for the story as a character each and made you split up, do things. And do you know
yeah. I
what?
mean, I've never been like a huge fan of like online multiplayer over the years, but when they started to introduce like um online co-op for like story modes in games, that was where it got my interest more.
It's
And obviously,
brilliant that
I
they
think
do
they
that.
did that. I think they did that in some of the Gears games.
They have, yeah.
They
It
also
makes it
did
a lot
that, I
more.
think, in one of the Halo games as well. Where like I think was it Halo
Yeah,
2?
yeah, I think they did, yeah. And well, they did the split game, they like split screen. You could play the main story back then. And that was something I really enjoyed. And the fact that this was very much like a linear story, and it felt so nice to play a game that had a story structure and followed the
Yeah,
path. It was
yeah.
really nice.
I've always been more of a story gamer rather than like an online platform. So I either like a story mode or I like an open world platform game. Like
The one thing
Cyberpunk.
that was the one thing that was really weird is like the muscle memory on the controller was like normally you used to an Xbox, and playing it on the PlayStation controller was the weirdest thing
Yeah.
ever. I was like, because my mind went automatically back to the Xbox controller to play it, and I'm like, hang on, this doesn't feel right. So it took a
No.
bit of time to get used to playing like the controls, and like it's weird, like how all of a sudden you have this muscle
They
memory from like 20 years ago.
have they just remastered it and ported it over to PlayStation, or have they remastered it for the Xbox as well?
Xbox and PC, so it's over on all of
Oh,
them.
nice. So they remastered the first one. I might I might see if that's on Game Pass then, because I mean, um,
Is
I'll have a look because like it's got a bit of a nostalgic thing, but also like a bit of a deep personal connection for me because like my dad was oddly was always I got my dad into Xbox like many years ago. He had an Xbox 360. I've still got his Xbox 360 actually in my storage unit. I need to dig it out at some point. Because
not
I
got the
think
red
he's
ring of death, is it?
pardon?
Not got the red ring of death yet.
No. He had that fixed and had it replaced. So he's got the upgraded motherboard in it. Um, but I think because he never really connected to Xbox Live, I think his is quite rare. I think he's still got the original Xbox home screen on it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I need to dig that out at some point. But yeah, I always used to play Gears with my dad, and he used to fucking love that game. That and they used to play Black. Black was a fucking brilliant game. But yes, I need to if they remastered it for the Xbox as well, I definitely need to take a look at that.
I think,
Um,
yeah, 'cause I went onto Xbox Pass because I got Xbox Game Pass PC. I was like, I really want to play Gears 2 now. Let's
yeah,
yeah,
I
Gears 2
might
is not on the Game Pass. I was like, gutted.
no. Well, they did. I know up until recently they had all of the Gears on Xbox Game Pass as like
They
one,
did, yeah.
similar to how they did Halo. They did like the whole pack.
I just didn't want to download them all at the same time. So I thought, I'll
No,
come
it's
back
fucking
and download them
huge.
as when I would play it. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah,
actually, I wish it did because they're now gone.
yeah.
Um,
I might actually download it on PC. Because
Talking
I'm
of,
interested to see how it plays on my Asus.
hey, brilliant
On
on
my
this.
Asus laptop, it'll smash it. But I
Yeah.
might also see how it plays on the ROG Ally as well. That'd be interesting to see.
So talking of Gears, though, we do have a new Gears game coming out next year, I believe, or back end of this year, which is E-Day. So this goes back to the start. This is the start of the Locusts, essentially the Locust event. So this is going back before Marcus gets chucked in jail. To the events of Gears 1. So that's
Yeah,
something I'm really looking forward to because it's going to get back
yeah.
into that whole Gears of War.
Wasn't aware that was coming out, but yeah, that'll be
It's going to be good fun. I don't know if it's this year or if it's next year.
2026 by the looks of it. And it's going to be PC and Xbox.
Yeah, well, I'll be playing on PC.
Yeah, that's good.
No, it's on PlayStation as well. 'Cause I think no, it's on PlayStation. It's advertised on PlayStation.
Not according to the release details, but I could be wrong. Interesting.
I'll have a look.
Will Gears of War E-Day be on PS5? I don't want to watch a YouTube video. Fuck off. Um, yeah, I'm interested to know. So it's not officially announced for PlayStation. It's rumored, but I think what will happen is it'll probably come to PC and Xbox because
Xbox
Xbox
first.
are moving more now into that hybrid sort of PC Xbox gaming because obviously they've just released a new Asus Xbox ROG Ally, haven't they? So
Yeah,
with the move,
which is where we're
um,
starting to see a lot of Xbox
yeah,
from PlayStation.
because
They've announced Halo's coming
I
over.
might upgrade my ROG Ally to that, or I might just install the interface because a lot of people have been trying that and it's been working really well. So I might just do that.
maybe try the interface first, and then maybe move over to the other one at a later
Yeah,
date.
exactly. I don't think it's not a massive leap unless you pay the $900 for the super duper one.
I think if I was going to go for handheld, I'd jump over to that one. I mean, I have a
Yes.
Switch, but the little one uses that more.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would jump over to that rather than like the full.
The new sort of top notch $900 one. The specs are really good, and I reckon if you were to stick that in a dock and connect it to monitors, like I do sometimes with my normal Z1 Extreme, I think it would
Right.
rival
Oh,
a lot of sort of gaming PCs. I think it'd be
mm.
good.
So that's
Um,
Gears. I think we should jump
Gears. I mean,
on to.
obviously GTA 6 has been announced. We're not seeing much about it, but I don't even think have we, because they keep messing around with the release date, don't
I
they?
think the release date's back end of next year. I think it was maybe this year, but then it got pushed back,
Yeah. It's
which I
still
didn't
scheduled for May next year, apparently.
I mean, that would be interesting, but again, I will only be interested in the story mode, and I'll probably play that.
Yeah, story mode.
I don't know if
There's
I might wait for.
too many 12-year-old kids on rocket bikes, whose dad's buying them shark cards on the online version. And I know the new one will be the same.
It will be, but I will probably wait for it to go on discount before I play it, and then I'll play the story, and then that'll be me. I won't play online for the works; it's just not my cup of tea. But
No,
uh,
same,
it's just
same.
I will play for the story because the stories are normally pretty good with GTA. To be fair,
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2,
Cyberpunk,
obviously, we don't know a huge amount about it.
we
It's
just know that they've
still
announced it.
they've announced it. They are working on it now, and they are
I think you'll
they're doing a
probably
massive
find.
they're doing a massive recruitment drive for staff for Cyberpunk 2 as well in the US and in Poland. So I do
I
keep
think
tracking
we'll
their
probably hear
website.
more once Witcher 4's out. I think once
Yes,
Witcher 4's out
yeah,
and support slows down for that, then you'll
they
start
are.
seeing the
I mean,
ramp
they
up.
are still recruiting for staff for Witcher 4, so that says that they're still nowhere near the end of the project on that.
Well, yeah, because they only did the announcement this year for Witcher 4, which would then mean they're in alpha stage of it, which means there's still quite a lot left to be done. Now, that being said, Cyberpunk 2 is probably in the early development stage, which will be a couple of
Yeah, I
years.
mean, it's still codenamed Project Orion, which I actually quite like the name of. Um, we don't know yet which direction they're going to go for the story. I know Keanu has said that he would love
He's
to play a
interested.
role in it as Johnny Silverhands again, but um, part of me wants to see it as a spin-off or a continuation of the story from the first one, but part of me almost wants a complete new world. I don't know. I don't know
I
which
mean,
way I
if
am
you're
on
going
it.
to go in the same world, maybe have a new character, but you tie the events maybe of what you want.
And a new city.
Yeah, maybe a different city instead of Night City, you can have Day City. Um,
Yeah, maybe a different timeline as well. So like 50 years later or
yeah, I think it'd be quite nice to have like a little bit of a break between it, so we're not having to just continue on your
yeah,
character.
yeah,
Um,
it'd be good.
good. I think we've mentioned it before. Spine, which is a
Yeah,
gun
still
style
no
game.
release date.
It's
Still
still
no
sending a
release
lot
date.
of There's still seeing a lot of press out for it and a lot of
It's
social
getting a
media
lot
ahead
of
of
press.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Discord group. A lot of cool stuff. Looking forward to it.
I think they're
Another
trying to make sure that they get the mechanics for it right.
definitely,
And that's the bit that's
I'd rather them not announce a date until they know they can complete it by a certain time. You know, they've not got the budget that CD Projekt Red have got. Um, so you know, it takes more time. Another
smaller
one that I wanted
company.
to mention um, was a little indie game. Well, not so little because it seems quite popular now, but
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of this until a cosplayer that I met at Volta last year. She's started um, she started cosplaying a character from the first game, Hollow Knight. And then they just released a new one, Hollow Knight Silk Song. And it's from a little indie company in Australia called Team Cherry. And it's been sort of like popping up on my feed a bit. And I've sort of looked a bit more in depth into it. And it looks absolutely stunning. it's just so sort of like it's sort of like almost like art house in an arcane TV show kind of way.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go soon. Once I get back from Focus, I'm gonna give that a go because it does look really, really cool. Not even sure if it's my kind of game. Purely based on visuals, I'd really like to give that a go.
I think my friends played this. I think it's one of the games that he's platinumed.
Yeah, a few people seem to be into it at the moment.
I know it's his style of game that he plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's on. I'm not sure what. Not even sure what platform it's on. To be fair,
I think it's on most. I know it's on PlayStation because he plays it on there.
is it?
Yeah,
That's
I know
quite
it's on there.
interesting.
I think it's across most platforms, to be honest. I know that MCM had, I think it was the EGX last year. They had something for it.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
either last year or it was at May because I
Oh, yeah,
remember
it is
that.
actually. It's on Switch, Switch 2, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's good.
I think it's very much like I think it's like 2D style, very old school TV
Yes, it
style.
is. Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't require a whole amount of processing power. So I might actually just get it on PC and just play it on the ROG Alley.
Yeah, I mean, I know he enjoyed it thoroughly, but that's his very much his style of game. So for
Yeah,
me, it's not I won't play it because it's not my style. But I know he loves it. He's platinum.
yeah, yeah. Just before we jump onto the what else have we been up to section, just jumping back to movies.
Yes.
Ahead of the Tron Aries thing, they announced they were also releasing the original Tron and Tron Legacy in 4K.
Yes, I did see that.
So I have actually ordered a steelbook of Tron Legacy because I really got to have it. But I've actually managed to um, download a copy of the 4K version just so I really want to look and um, see what the qualities are like because I can't wait for the steelbook, but I really, really, really want to see what it's like. So I might watch that in 4K this weekend just to see. I mean, I watched it recently,
Out.
but I'm
Oh,
going
so
to
is
watch it again.
it out now? Is it?
I'm not sure if it's out. I know some people have received their steelbook
Okay.
like a
So
month
Steelbook is
ahead of time.
released. Yeah, so Steelbook for Tron Legacy is out on the 29th of September.
Yeah, so I know some people that pre-ordered received theirs last week and this week. So, I mean, I've only ordered mine this week, so I probably won't get it till release date. But I can't wait for
Stunning
that.
artwork. That stunning artwork.
Yeah, yeah. The looking at some of the Reddit groups, the people that have watched it so far have said it's a really, really excellent remaster. So,
I'm
so
tempted.
yeah,
I'm tempted to
trying.
go and get this on Steelbook.
Yeah, it's about 30 quid, I think.
34.99 from
Yeah,
HMV.
yeah. Right, we're going to move on to the last section. I need to keep this quite brief because time's ticking on. I don't want to bore people too much. There's only two of us.
To be fair, this section
So,
is pretty.
what have we been up to? Well, I mean, I've not been to a huge amount of events this year. I don't think I've been to any events since MCM May.
No, yeah, it's Secret Con.
Secret Con, yeah, yeah, of course. How can I forget about that?
It's your own event.
So yeah, Secret Con Houghton Tower was the last event. Well, actual proper con was MCM May.
Next one after that was MegaCon Manchester, which we didn't attend.
I didn't go, no. Worked on, obviously, I went to Picbisha in June. I haven't
Yeah,
really done any of the personal projects that I wanted to do. I just feel like I've just run out of time. And then when I've been having time, I've just been like recharging and trying to get some brain power back. I kind of, after Picbisha, I kind of went into a bit of a strange headspace and mental space. I did have a bit of a mental decline, if I'm honest, and just didn't feel very creative for a while. And then I was contacted by Spores recently, and oh, dinner's arrived. Thank you. Amazing, like KFC at home. Yeah, I had a bit of a mental decline, and I was contacted by Ben from Spores. They had a project coming up for one of their Uncharted shoots, and they said it was a particularly challenging shoot, particularly with like lighting and cinematography. And they asked me if I would be part of it and help out with my experience.
Yeah.
Don't know much about Uncharted because I've not really played the games. I've seen the shit film.
Oh, I didn't think
No,
that was
that
that bad.
isn't really much to go on. But from what I'd seen from the previous Spores stuff that they'd done, I was excited to be a part of it. So I moved some stuff around, and I went to that start of September. Going into it, I was a little bit mentally frazzled and like massively overthinking because I was in a bit of a creative slump, as I said. The last Spore shoot I did towards the start of the year, I was not good mentally either, and had a bit of a existential crisis like midway through the weekend.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like really concerned going into this shoot because I know the guys were relying on me for lighting and help with some of the cinematography, and the pressure was on, and I was a bit concerned. But actually, it was really good. It was really good for me. It really worked out. I forgot how much I thrive in a stress sort of intense pressured environment. Um,
Yeah.
and I had one of the best weekends working with those guys. Is fantastic. If if ever you get the opportunity to work with Spores, um, I really can't recommend them enough. They are such a pillar of the cosplay community. You know, the work they do is just so creative. Their passion, um, you know, they don't discriminate against anybody. They, you know, if you fit for the project that they're working on, um, it's just they're fantastic guys. You know, I started working with them a good few years ago now, and some of them have gone on to become like really good friends. And the Uncharted project was like fantastic. Just watching everybody work together. Um, can't share too much image wise of the project at the minute because they're still working on things, and we're kind of like releasing things sort of slowly. But yeah, I can't wait to be able to show you guys some more of what we got up to that weekend. Um,
Yeah, 'cause it sounded pretty epic.
yeah, it was.
A
Yeah, I
bit
mean,
about
it really, really, really was. I got a drone shot. I think we'll be sharing at some point soon of one of the scenes that we shot, which was particularly technically difficult. With we had two videographers shooting different angles. We had the lighting. We had different cast members that um, you know, sort of walking around in an old barn on uneven surfaces. So we had to have spotters for them moving around. And I captured a drone shot overhead of the scene, the way all the cameras, the sound guy, the actors, and the spotters were moving around. It was honestly like a really well-oiled machine. It's fantastic. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to go on too much about Spores, but if you can check them out, they have got a panel actually at MCM on the Saturday. Not sure what time it is. I think it's about 3 o'clock, isn't it? Have a look. See if I can find it
I
out
think
because
yeah, some
it's quite a long panel. I think it's about 45 minutes, which is really, really great for
decent
them
size.
guys.
Yeah, no, I mean they do quite a
Um,
bit like photography, and
yeah,
it makes sense that they've
I
got a
think it's
panel
on
for
the
that.
creator stage, is it? I'm not sure. Um,
Mm.
I'll try and put a link in when we've done the recording. But they'll be talking about what they do, some of the projects. They'll be going on about Uncharted. Be a really good panel to see. If you can go along and support those guys, then please do. And if you ever get a chance to work with them, then absolutely jump at it. Really can't rave about them highly enough. Um, Other than that, and Pick Visha, I've not really done a lot since MCM May. Um, I did a shoot at actually I did a shoot at a group shoot at Clay Mills pumping station, which is like 10 minutes down the road from me. Which was just like a
As
bit
I
of
say,
a sort of like chill thing. But I came out, I just went along, I just took my S9 and an LED, couple of LED lights, but really, really casual, really, really chill. But some really great stuff, really great venue. We'll probably be
got some
talking
good
a bit
stuff
more
like
about
that,
that
didn't you?
later.
That one, yeah.
Um,
Um,
how about you?
I mean, I think about the same. I think did MCM May, then went up to Secret Con, June, Castle, and then I haven't really done any events since, but I've been freaking busy. Like September has been nuts. So I did my first studio day at the start of the month, um,
Yeah,
which was really good.
yeah,
Went up to High Wycombe,
that looked like it went really well. Some of the results you've
really well.
posted from that were like fucking epic,
So we
especially
worked
like
out
the mix of. I think what impressed me the most was like the mix of natural and artificial light.
like, yeah. I really wanted to play around with because it has some really stunning windows, like the really old school stunning windows. And we had lucky enough, we had a really lovely day with some really nice natural light coming in. And then I just basically used a hard light off like these two flashes, one with a soft box with the grid on it just to soften them up, and then utilize the cone.
Yeah, I was
The
going to ask what lighting you used actually because I was really impressed, honestly.
oh, thanks. So I used both my AD300s, one with the really big soft box on with the grids in. And then I also use the harder light one that we use with the honeycomb, just to highlight on the person more,
Yeah, I'm
more the
taking that to
direct
focus
side of
actually.
yeah. Um, so yes, that was the lighting situation there. But I really wanted to play with the sort of the natural light coming in through the windows and really backlight them with that. So that studio shoot was really good fun. I was busy. It was three models, 4 hour shoot. I was non-stop because obviously the models were just swapping around, changing in between. We had so this was a studio over in High Wycombe, Studio 88. Really nice place. And I next year I
Yeah,
want
looks
to try
cool.
and do some more there. I was chatting with the owners there as well, and they have got in the summer months they do like a rain room. It's as well like a bit like tank space, but more of a removable one that they can take out here and there. So they've got 3 studios there.
It's the one that
It,
James uses,
it is the one
JRE.
that James.
It
Yeah, it
is
is.
it? I wondered if it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah, no, same space. Because I was chatting with the owners about James as well. And like James goes down there quite often to shoot. Really nice guy down there, and a really nice venue.
Yeah.
So
James is at
shot
Focus next week, actually.
he is. I'm excited to see him, and I'm really glad. I'm really
Yeah.
happy that he managed to get sort
Yeah,
out that.
me too. I mean,
It's all
that's
about
obviously
focusing
the
it.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's obviously the next thing that we're going to. Um,
Yeah, but I
so
think
that's on. We're flying out to that on Thursday. That's come around
Thursday
really fucking quick.
it has.
Um,
So so I'll just finish with what I've been up to. So I did the studio shoot. Then I did a shoot with my friend Kim, which has some of the
mm,
shots have been coming out for. That was another studio shoot. Was really different because we're both she's very alternative style model. So we thought, you know what, let's play around with white backdrop, light,
why
and
not?
let's just go something completely different out of our comfort zones. So I did a studio day there with them. Then Steph decided, oh, I want to do some cosplay stuff where I've been up into the hill, up into the woods and stuff like that near us. So Holly and Steph went into the woods and just about in the water again. This time a lot warmer. So I did that shoot on on that Thursday, and then last Sunday I did a shoot over in Kent with Amy and Char and Alex, where we were doing a lot of book like Akatar style book related cosplays down in one of the heritage sites down that way, which is quite cool. Which you will start seeing some of that stuff coming out. I've only edited 3 images from that because as you can imagine, my backlog now has gone massively up because I've just done non-stop shoots for the last 2 weeks. So that's kind of been where I'm up to. I'm drained. I've taken some time to myself, and I was hoping between June and October I was going to get through a lot of backlog,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it seems to be the other way around.
I kind of planned the same myself, and I don't know. I don't know what I can't really explain what I've been doing with my time, but I'd planned to do,
Nice.
you know, loads of personal projects and get loads of editing done. Um, but I still feel like I've not had that much time at home. I've done a couple of shoots like the Fantastic Four, the Clay Mill Sing, Pick Visha, but I haven't really got any of my own personal project shoots done that I wanted to at all this year. Which I'm quite disappointed
so
about.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Became so optimistic at the start of the year, going, I'm going to do this.
But you know, I've been working on a lot of other things in the background, which we'll come on to in a minute.
Yeah, I think that's taken up quite a bit of our time, to be honest.
Yeah. But obviously we've got Focus next week. Well, Thursday. So we fly out to France on Thursday. Landing tours sometime Thursday afternoon. Focus Cosplay is a photo con similar to Volta, Pick Visha, Pixelmania. I met some of the people that run it at Volta last year. Shot with some of them. Fantastic cosplayers, really, really great people. You know, they told me about the event. I was sold on it straight away, so I applied for this year, and I was accepted, fortunately. Again, some of the locations look absolutely stunning. It's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think I've got 10 shoots booked that range anywhere between 1.5 to 2 hour shoots. So, you know, 10 plus shoots in 3 days is quite a lot, because it's not con shoots. You're talking about almost like full out con shoots. With some really great cosplayers, some that sort of challenge the style that I normally go for, which is what I like to do at European cons. And then we booked an extra day because of the Ryanair flights back, so that we don't have to go via Paris. Yeah, I didn't feel like us driving in and out of Paris like that.
We were like, oh, what's this? One extra day in holiday? Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Well, we'll take that and the 16.99 flight instead of like whatever and 4 hours drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing a day in tours, which I don't really know much about, but it looks like a stunning place. So take the camera, have a day touring. And then literally the weekend after that, we've got MegaCon Farnborough. Which has come around really quick.
Yeah, it really has come quick.
It's also one that I will say I'm really looking forward to.
It's going to be an interesting one. Just to see what they do.
I will say that I'm really loving what the MegaCon guys are doing at the minute. Yes, I have been fortunate enough to be approved for a Creator Pass, which is amazing, and thank you very much to the MegaCon team. I know Tom Burns posted a story on their Instagram a couple of days ago with a bit of a tour around the new venue, because it's a venue that no other convention have used, I don't think. And it looks really, really interesting. They're also doing an after-con ball, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
I don't think I'm going. But
not going, but that's that was an extra cost if you wanted to do it. And toilets were included.
Yeah, you didn't have to pay £95 for the toilets. But the venue looks really, really cool. Tom in his video did seem to be sort of selling some of the areas that he said might look really great for photos, so that's quite encouraging. And I really do love how MegaCon in general do seem to be thinking more about everyone in the cosplay community and how people create. So
definitely feels more creative sort of con in some respects.
Definitely feels more like a hybrid creator space more than just a convention for people to go and meet guests and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find that niche, that area that separates them from somewhere else.
Definitely.
Like, not doing the guests and stuff.
It seems to be working. Unfortunately, I missed Manchester this year, so I just hadn't got the time to go. But that's why I decided to go to Farnborough, and obviously it's new, so I chose that instead. And I definitely looking forward to it. So I'm there both days. Should be good.
Should be good.
And then
it'll be fun.
After that, obviously there's
MCM?
the weekend after MegaCon, I've got a gig in Sheffield, and hopefully then see the Tron Aries at IMAX. Then I think I've got one weekend at home, which is rare at the minute. And then yeah, MCM London, MCM EGX, which again, been lucky enough to get creative for. So again, thank you to MCM Repot. Really, really thrilled that they've done another EGX event at MCM because I really enjoyed last year. So yeah, looking forward
I
to.
kind of got this theory with MCN, with how they're kind of operating now between sort of May and October. On Steph, because Steph was going, "Oh, really disappointed that they haven't got so many book related content in October." And I was like, "Well, book stuff was really heavy in the May, and that was more MCM, whereas obviously EGX is pop culture, but also gaming." So I'm wondering if we're looking at more of the book side and
Yeah,
the pop culture stuff in May, and then in
I think they
October
might
we're
switch
looking
it to do
more,
like very different orientated events, so more gaming tech related in the
yeah,
October, and
and
maybe
then
the sort
more
of more fantasy kind of ilk book based in the May. I've got the same feeling.
because that's a smart move.
Mm,
It is a very smart move because then you're
definitely.
if you can't able to make one because you prefer the more fantasy stuff, then you go, man. If you're not interested in the gaming side, then that's the choice. But I suppose it changes it up. Like, how can MCM be different? Do something that is not the same each time. But they seem to have like a really good um lineup of celebrities in October.
Yeah, yeah,
Looks like they've got a really good lineup. Some really good names on the list. It
yeah.
definitely feel like they've been putting a little bit of extra in there to
Don't
really.
think there's anyone this time that I want to meet. Then again, as I've already said, I'm not normally a guest meeting sort of person.
I think for me, it'd be
But
Christopher Judge, but that just goes back to the days of growing up with watching Stargate SG1. He was one of the main leads in that. So for me, if I was to go see someone, it would be Christopher Judge. But I'm also not so worried about that sort of thing. I'm a little
yeah,
bit jealous of Liverpool at the moment with the Haley Atwell notification.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Um,
excited. I'm not with Liverpool.
it'd be good. It'd be good. I think there's LFCC in November, which is not normally an event that's on my radar, but they have announced some guests for Alien Earth.
Oh, are they?
Mm.
They're doing they're also doing a fantasy. They're doing a book related con at the same time at LFCC, which is a different event. But if you go to the book side of it, you also have access to LFCC. That's going. Yeah, because
So they're doing they've got quite a few guests from Alien Earth and some of the other Alien movies as well. Um, so I'm keeping an eye on that. There's a couple of people that I'm semi interested in seeing. There's a couple of if they do announce a couple of others, particularly then I may go. Other than that, then it'll be on to MCM Birmingham end of November.
I think that for me would be like a day at MCM Birmingham, I think, just because of financing and.
Say again?
I think for me it'll just be fun. I'll be going to do a day, I think, in Birmingham. It'll be a mixture because finances, but also a mixture of the fact that I've also got my little one as well, and I think MCM is a little bit harder for him. It's not as enjoyable. So a day is not so bad. I can get him on board for a day. But yeah, see how that goes. I've got some people interested to do some work in Birmingham. Obviously, I'm
And then obviously,
attending MCM as a creator as well. So thank you very much to MCM for that, which I'm excited for. And I feel like I'm going to be very busy. Yeah. But yes.
and then obviously, like new projects for us. Obviously, we announced Nexus,
Yes. That's a fun new thing
our
coming.
latest project. Um, so those that don't know, Nexus is a joint project between myself and Switch, where we are going to obviously originally we were looking at studio space, but we decided that it just wasn't the right time to do that. So we've announced an events based business where we are going to run a series of specific themed events. So we're going to start with an Arcane League of Legends event next year, leading on to the Cyberpunk event and also a steampunk event, which will be sort of general steampunk and cosplay steampunk. A couple of people seem to be a little bit confused about a potential link to SecretCon. Nexus isn't linked to SecretCon at all. So I am a director of both. I'm not going anywhere. SecretCon still exists in its own vein. I'm still a director of SecretCon. I'm also a director of Nexus. We just obviously SecretCon is a little bit more general cosplay. Nexus is more specific themed, as well as we're going to be running some photography workshops based around mine and Tom's own skill set, so lighting, cinematic, styles, etc. So yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to announce some more details. We're working on venues at the minute for the 3 events next year. We've got the venues kind of semi-penciled in. We're just waiting on
we've got an
confirmation.
idea about what 2 venues roughly at the minute. Third one's we've got a list of ones that we're looking at.
We got yeah.
Got a list. I think
once we've got them confirmed, we'll obviously announce dates and ticket sales. Excuse me, I'm just finishing my dinner.
So I think what is it? So to add on a little bit with the Nexus stuff to kind of separate that divide on the cosplay. So we said theme events. So let's take an example. The first event we're going to do is an Arcane themed event. So we're looking at Arcane League of Legends. So if you're a League of Legends fan and you do cosplay within that realm, or you're someone that wants to get into the sort of League of Legends element or that sort of style, then this is sort of that event's going to be kind of what we're also looking at bringing in and introducing into these events is pop-up sets as well. So we will be looking at working with individuals from the community and outside of the community to create props and sets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's to
prop builders, set builders, etc.
So that's where it's going to be slightly different. So we're going to try and set piece some of these locations that you may have seen before, or you've been to before, or even new locations, with certain things that represent the shows or the games or the theme. Cyberpunk one again will be very similar, just in a different location, which we'll announce once we figure out timings and stuff like that one. And then the steampunk one is going to be an interesting one because it's going to be kind of more of it's going to be a mixture of different things. So it's either you've got your steam, you can just be general steampunk, or if you want to turn a cosplay or a fandom that you have into a steampunk variation.
I think it's going to be a smaller event as well with the venue that we've got in mind. We're a little bit more limited on numbers for that one. But it is an incredible venue that fits the bill very well. So I think it'll be a good one.
Some ideas of some cosplays if you're interested in doing to put on your cosplay plans for next year. So if you're creators of set designs and props and you feel like you want to get involved, we have a number of people that have already reached out who are very interested. So we're going to be in talks to some people in regards to that, which is exciting. And hopefully we'll be able to tell you more on the arcade situation relatively soon.
Yeah, we want to get that one announced first and as soon as we can.
We're going to try and get that announced before Christmas, definitely.
Definitely.
But so you can tell we've been busy in the background because this whole venture here as well with Nexus, potential obviously where we were talking about the studio at first, that was taking a lot of time, and then we decided to go down this route instead, which was always the plan to have this as a thing anyway.
Yeah.
This could be more of our main focus.
Yeah. And then obviously next year we've got the normal con calendar. Again, I think I'm going to probably be doing less UK events next year. Concentrating more on obviously Nexus, SecretCon, and European events. So Pikvisha has moved to April now. So and they're also moving to the Italian side of Switzerland. The new venues and locations they've been looking for next year are epic. So I'll probably be applying to that, although it's a little bit close to a certain person's wedding. So it's going to be a busy April.
Busy start of the year, I think.
Yeah,
And
and
then just really busy.
I'm waiting for Volta to announce their dates for next year because that's when I'll definitely want to apply for. Because last year was so much fun. There's also Pixelmania in Poland. I really would like to go to in July, but also at the same time, July is my birthday month. And it's my 50th next year, so we're already planning a little getaway, maybe Norway, I think, with a few of us.
Much to next discuss.
Yes, but it's relatively cheap to get over there and stay. And there's lots to explore for photographers, so we can just bugger off and go and take photos.
Exactly. I think next year for me is going to be try and stick with like the MCM. Maybe do MegaCon London just because it's I can get down there if I need to, and then if they do
Yeah,
Farnborough. Obviously, Secret
yeah.
Cons. Obviously,
The Secret Con we've already obviously announced the bunker in March, so we're launching applications for that very, very soon. Ticket sales will be not too far behind it. Anyone that's been to the bunker will know it's a fantastic venue. It is a little bit limited on space as well, so we will have limited numbers. But it's a really great venue and perfect for anyone that's cosplaying anything to do with Fallout.
also going to say, if you had FOMO from last year's bunker, this is your time. Get yourself down there. It was worth it. It was
Absolutely.
a hell of a time. It was a brilliant venue.
It's a bit of a trek for some people.
I know it's a bit of a trek. For me, it's not so much of a trek. It's a 20-minute drive.
It's a bit of a trek for me. It's like 4.5 hours on the train, but
yeah, it is definitely one to if you can go to get yourself down there. It's a very good venue.
Yeah, really great venue. Far more versatile than you might think.
Bring a torch though.
Yeah, for some areas. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sort of
coming out of fucking nowhere and you skate shit out of you.
That's about July next year. I'm anything past that, I'm not sure. But then that is quite forward planning as it is.
But yeah, I don't really want to go much past April, to be honest.
I will say that the first half of my year next year is filling up pretty bloody fast. I would have loved to have done camp cosplay in April, but I just can't do it. Which I'm gutted about because I've missed all of their events so far, and they do look amazing. So I think they had one a couple of weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think it might have been the weekend I was away at Spores, or was it last weekend?
I think it was last weekend because I had a friend was messaging me saying, "Oh, we did a pool shoot." I was like, "Where we?"
Yeah,
they were like, "Can cosplay?" I was like, "Oh, okay." And then you've got Fantasy Forest coming up again. I know.
Yeah, they've got 2 events next year, haven't they?
You have. Steph's going to one, and she's camping. She's like, "Do you want to come and camp?" I was like, "I know, I've done my camping days. Thank you very much."
I do like camping actually. I don't mind it, but
yeah, I've done enough of that. Thank you.
I don't think I can do Fantasy Forest next year, unfortunately.
Also, I think tickets are all sold out at the moment.
They have, yeah, already.
They
have. I mean, obviously there'll be some reselling and whatnot, but yeah. And on that, I think we're about done.
Oh, so obviously heavily geeking on films and TV.
Very.
Partially geeking on gaming. And then obviously
a bit of an update on us.
An update on Nexus and the difference between Nexus and Secret Cons. I want to reiterate that one, please.
And keep your eyes on our stories next week from Thursday onwards, because there'll be some stuff going up from Focus, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm basically Darren's gopher for a weekend of transportation and lighting bit.
And he'll be filming lots of BTS stuff of my back whilst I'm taking photos, no doubt.
I might smile in a few of them and get some really shit selfies.
Why not? I mean, I
Why
am
not?
taking my drone as well, so I might just send the drone up and do some autonomous stuff in some of the locations while we're shooting. But
Yeah, so yeah, keep an eye on that because that'll
good.
be rather interesting.
Mm,
Should go out before we go to Focus. I'll probably do it this weekend.
yeah,
Get it
be
on
fun.
Monday. So,
So
with that
yeah,
said, wrap it there. Massive thank you all guys if you've managed to stick this out. We were hoping to do a short
go on.
episode. We like to talk way too much. Obviously, partner in crime here, iPhoto UK Darren, and myself, Switch. I might as well just say Gone Dark because I'm promoting that one more. Or 89 underscore 8.9. Just okay, Instagram. Anyway,
Nexus
anyway,
13, whatever.
or Nexus 13, or
Why not?
Cosplay Tugs and all things nerdy. No,
Why not?
we're just spamming out names now. Anyway, guys, so you can find obviously me and Darren at our usual socials between ourselves. And then also anything related to cosplay, Tugs and all things nerdy would be Cosplay Tugs and all things nerdy on most platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. Um, so that said, thank you very much for watching. Apologies for not having an episode last month. We will hopefully have more, and you never know, we might do a little brief special episode whilst over in France at Focus.
I
Depends on
think
how.
we should at least try. It might be difficult, but we can
You might be a little
give it a
bit
go.
tipsy and tired, but
Bit of
see how
both,
it
yeah.
goes. Yeah.
That's the definite.
All right, guys. So till next time. Thanks for watching.
See you soon.